Hello everyone, and welcome to Geek Space TV presents Night Witches, Toil, and Trouble. This is episode 9, and it is wonderful to see you all. How are you all doing? I hope everyone in chat is having a lovely day, part of the day-night cycle, wherever you're at. Speaking
of day-night cycle, daylight savings time is coming up.
Wait, really?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah. Just, a heads up, everybody.
Is it the daylight savings times where we get extra sleep or where we lose sleep?
So spring forward, fall back. That's the tip.
I don't even know what that means. I know that that's a saying, but I don't actually.
Spring forward would mean that 3 o'clock would be 4 o'clock.
So we
fall
lose
back
sleep.
Would mean that 3 o'clock is 2 o'clock.
So we lose sleep.
That's a big thumbs down.
Yeah.
But I get out of work and I see daylight.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Not worth it.
I was I was in the army this one time, and when I was in the army, I was a spy, and so I would work in these buildings with no windows at all. And when it was winter, you'd go into the workplace and it was dark, and then you'd be in this building for all of your hours, and then you would leave and it was also dark, and you would have no idea what the day was like.
So like Vegas.
Yes. Now we know being in the army is like Vegas.
But with more push-ups?
But with more push-ups.
You're more fit and you're less hungover.
I'm so happy to have you here. Geek Space TV is a nonprofit broadcasting studio and streaming space out of Seattle, and it has as its mission increasing diversity and representation in gaming and geek spaces. And it is a wonderful, cool place. It's hip. It's happening. It's also in Seattle, which I think is not snowing. It is where I'm at right now, sadly.
It's all sunny and pretty.
Jealous. All of you here, we do all of this for you all. And I want to thank you for being here. And the best thing you can do if you want to support us is being here, watching our shows, hanging out in chat, and, being part of our scene. You can also, if you like, host the show. Every host helps. You can hit the share button, which is probably down there somewhere, and let people know that we're going. You can tweet us out, so let people know so they can all come and watch us. On top of that, if you like, you can join our Discord, which is a really cool community. People hang out and they chat about all of the things. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, and I think the mods are probably giving us the links in chat. Instagram, Twitter, and also Discord. Those are our big ones. Now, if you want to support us monetarily, you can subscribe to the channel, again, down there. You can also use your Amazon Prime to subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. You can give us tips or bits. If you give us tips, we will read out your message at the break and at the end of the show. And you can join us, subscribe to us on Patreon. You can be one of our Patreons. And all of that helps us keep the lights on and do what we do. Right now, our current goal, which I think is over there, is to help pay for the very last bit of the season of Worlds Beyond. So if you would like to go and donate for that, that's wonderful. We are heading towards the end of this particular season, and the next season to come is bound to be very exciting. What we have this coming week, we have on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, we have Worlds Beyond with our very own Shell Game, who's over there, as Anon Nisi. And there's been a lot of drama over on Worlds Beyond, which is a dimension hopping game, so you might want to check out what's happening. And then, of course, we'll be back with Night Witches on Saturday. So I would like to have each one of our cast members, this amazing crew of airwomen, introduce who they are, what they do, and where we can find them. And why don't we start? We're going to mix it up a little bit. Why don't we start with Maggie?
Oh. Hi. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all the little places, like all of them. Yeah, just super duper easy. And I am going to be starting streaming again. I got my life in order. It's amazing. So tune in next Friday if you're interested in checking out some stuff. I'll be tweeting about it. So got you.
Wonderful. Then let's go to the opposite corner, which would then be here. How about Rocket Fox? You tell us where we can find you.
Hello, I am Rocket Fox, and you can find me any place that you happen to look up Rocket Fox. Likely I will be there, or some imposter. And yeah, I get into a lot of stuff, gaming, illustration, performance, storytelling, and I am also the president of the board for Superheroines, etc., which is a nonprofit with the mission to empower women and those who identify as women to embrace their inner nerd. And you can find out more about that at superheroinesetc.org. But yeah, come find me in places.
Excellent. How about we go down to Shell Game?
Hello. I was just about to respond in chat that, of course, there's not going to be any drama here today.
Never.
But now that it's my turn, I'll just say it out loud. Hi, I am Shell Game. I love drama in RPGs and not in real life. Oh, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch, but really just Twitter.
At Shell Game?
At Shell Game.
Mm-hmm. And I think we should end, well, not really, because there's one more after, but you know what I mean. We will go with Mac, who's over here.
Hi guys, I am Mac Beauvais. You can find me in all the places as at Strange Like That. I've been posting a new photo set to Instagram, so I definitely recommend that if you're into seeing rad modeling shots. I'm also frequently found over at the Happy Jacks RPG podcast for the Twitch stream and also the actual podcast, so check that out.
Excellent. And I am Trooper SJP. I am the game moderator, and you can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch, where I stream story-heavy games, or right now Horizon Zero Dawn, where I get distracted by chat, and then robot dinosaurs just try to kill me, and I run around going, "What is happening?"
That's like all of my experience with that game, except without chat to distract me. Me going, what? Why? Why am I being chased right now?
Really, my whole time was like, "Oh, this is pretty."
Yeah. I spent a lot of time walking through the snow and noticing how the tracks were all still there, so just like circling for a really long time.
And then the dinosaurs kill you. Like this, like it's like, oh, it's so beautiful.
I killed the dinosaurs. That's the difference.
Good job. I had a stick.
I do like the combat in that game, though.
The combat's really good. It's really good. So, my friends, thank you so much. We are going to go to credits, and when we come back, we are going to... Oh, my goodness. There's so much. There's so much that's happening. We're going to go to credits, and when we come back, there's going to be pleasant conversations with all of the people. We will see you in about a minute and a half, everyone. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Night Witches, Toil, and Trouble, Episode 9. I don't know what that sound effect was. That was strange.
The wind rushing by us as we're on our planes flying through the air.
Victory.
The ominous wind.
The ominous wind. Oh.
Accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate. Let's have our cast introduce their characters. Tell us something about your character, what they look like. Give us some sort of sense of who you are playing, and if our wonderful fan artists want to be so inspired and so moved by your descriptions, I will take it. Let's start with...
The fan art's so good.
The fan art is so good! And also the cast art is so good, because some people in our cast are artists and are really good.
What?
What? Why don't we start with you, good artist? Rocket, tell us about your character.
Again, I am Rocket Fox, and I am playing Titania Petrova, and her look is very buttoned up, very military, seems to suit her very well, very clean cut, just short black bob, seemingly very serious, but as we recently learned, can let her hair down, so to speak. And yeah, she has a background also as an artist. Don't know how that happened, but yeah, is finding her way into the lieutenant position she's in.
Then let's go over to Mac.
Hey guys, I am Mac Beauvais. I'm playing Nikita Nikvolkova. She is kind of a wiry, roguish build. She's got short auburn hair, face full of freckles and olive eyes. And she has been just trying to get through everything. Like, it seems like the military life was not 100% what she really expected. And she definitely didn't expect to find love, which she has.
Aww. Oh.
It's gonna be a fight.
So, Shelgay, maybe you want to introduce your character and say something about her right now?
Hi, I'm Elena. Yelena Popova is her current name, but she used to be Yelena Dosmanova. And she typically just goes by Lena. She's a really small, slight character who for a very long time was terrified of any sort of like human interactions. But when you get her up in a plane, you can see her just sort of come alive. And she's dealing with well, you'll find out more in the recap, but a lot right now.
Yes. And our fourth player, Maggie.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna be the train wreck of all of them. What is love anyway? No, I'm just kidding. Irina Alberg is the youngest of 7 children in a Swedish family. She's just loud and boisterous and blunt. And she's got frizzy, curly brown hair, pretty much what I've got going on right now. And she's tall and really bulky to the point where like some people might mistake her for a man if they like didn't talk to her and get to know her. And her uniform is usually super unkempt, and she's like, even when she's trying to be like super serious, you can tell that there's something else going on, something mischievous in her eyes. She may have a boyfriend or something. A guy might think that he's her boyfriend. I don't know. And yeah, she's probably gonna cause drama. It'll be great.
And she'll cause trauma probably without even meaning to. You know?
Yeah, she might just steal your cheese. It's fine.
Maybe
It was meant for your hot date. It's fine.
I'm not mad. It's cool.
Better.
I let bygones be bygones.
Hey, Irina has no qualms with eating that cheese.
Got my eyes on you.
What? I mean, I recently got a regard for you.
Yeah.
I have a new regard that is I admire Titania. So, you know.
Oh, we'll see how long that lasts.
Last time on Night Witches, it was pretty mellow. Not a lot happened. Lena came back, our young Lena, who was put in a hospital for conversion therapy because she had admitted that she was a lavender woman in order to save the other women of the unit, had been there for, almost a year, and she got married to a young man in the brother unit, and they came back, and it was a bit of a hullabaloo coming back. Finally, everyone was waiting for their comrade to come back, and when she arrived, Olga Barsakova, the Politruk of the unit, which is their secret police and the political police, had them stage a wedding for Pravda, which is the newspaper, which was there, is currently there still, covering the unit and trying to make good propaganda. And so a very awkward staged wedding ceremony happened, which made everybody very uncomfortable. But there was good press. That was good. Nick, who has been carrying on a relationship with Mel, the mechanic who was seeing Lena before Lena left, was taken away. They had this sort of moment where Nick let Mel know that Lena was back, and there was a lot of insecurity about what to happen, but Mel reiterated her commitment to the relationship with Nick and that they would, that nothing has changed. But Mel is determined to speak with Lena because Lena has just come back from a hospital that Mel had also been in one of these hospitals, and so wants to have this moment. We also had Irina, Irina is strong, she's fun-loving, she's not always the most perceptive with subtle interpersonal things.
I think she does it on purpose. I'm just
She's that person that just sits at your desk and talks at you, even though you're like, dude, I'm doing my work, and you could just leave me alone.
So Titania sort of arranged an assignation with the deputy Politruk and was going to meet at 3, but Irina got there first and ate all the cheese on the charcuterie board and cheese plate and took up some time, but also got a letter from Polya, who was one of their fellow airwomen who died. Before she died, she sent a letter saying basically, that woman that you don't like, she's terrible. I don't like her either. And I want to get back in the unit with you all because you are much better a section to be in. And that sort of has Irina's sort of going through a process about the death of Polya right in her arms. But she left. And then Titania and Svetlana Sheremetova had a moment that involved moving the cheese board off the desk.
perhaps with vigor.
Yes. And then after that, we also know that Anastasia's name day is coming up, and they're going to maybe perhaps have some kind of party for it. They go off on their mission. It was actually a bit of a dangerous sort of emergency mission where the boys of the 218th, their brother unit, one of their auxiliary airfield was being overrun by the Nazis. The Nazis were going to land planes, which is really close to where they're at. And so our heroines fly off right in the middle, like not even before it gets completely dark, to bomb this airfield so that the Nazis can't completely take it. And it's a very dangerous mission. It's amazing. They are phenomenal and superb. They bomb, and then of course things catch on fire, and Little Clipper, the plane itself, gets damaged, and the upper wing starts coming apart, and our Irena climbs up on top of the wing and holds the upper wing together and her hands catch on fire as Lena lands the plane. And it's sort of this epic moment. And when they land, to all of these adulation and cheers for this amazing job they did in saving the 218th, the lives of the 218th, and making sure that the Nazis could not take this auxiliary airfield and push into their territory. Like, this is this amazing heroic thing they did so expertly and with such heroism. The Politruk of the 218th happened to be there. He was there because he realized that the hearts and flowers that were painted on the banner that was displayed at the talent show were the same hearts and flowers that were painted on one of his planes during an act of vandalism back in like session 1 or 2.
Who would vandalize What's the
We
point?
didn't do that. I don't. Who would know it?
They could at least not get drunk and then go on a mission.
And he wanted to arrest. Anastasia, but the quick thinking of our artist Titania stepped in and said, "There's no proof they may look alike, but anyone could have painted those hearts and flowers. And let me show you, I could do it too." And then she did, and that was enough.
They didn't have me do that.
It would look a little different. And that was enough to sort of allow Olga Barsakova, your Politruck, to sort of get him out and get him to leave. But he left with anger. And he said that, basically this is not the end of it. And that is where we left last week with everyone sort of, with Irena's hands being bandaged and heading off towards the debriefing. So
Surely none of that is something that can ever come back and haunt us.
I like to imagine those flowers are like the super easy ones where it's just like this, like you're crying like that.
That's kind of what I assume.
Yeah, they're not. Whenever adults try to make drawings to look like 3-year-olds drew them, that's what they look like. Just that little whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a quote for you. I like to start each episode with a quote from one of the actual women of the 588th, because this game is based on a real unit and real history. I mean, our history is not the same as their history, but we try. And so I have a quote that I thought was sort of interesting, and maybe you all think about it a little bit. I don't know what you'll think about it. So this is from Captain Larissa Litvinova Rozanova, who was a pilot for the unit, and she was also awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, which is the highest medal that you can achieve. And this is what she said about flying in the 588th. She said, "Each mission was a constant overstrain. We inhaled the gunpowder, choking and coughing, unable to breathe from the anti-aircraft gunfire bursting around us. It sometimes lasted 15 minutes until we completely escaped the searchlights. When you leave behind the area of the target, the sea of the anti-aircraft fire and the searchlights, the next instant you start shivering, your feet and your knees start shaking, and you cannot talk at all because you are wheezing in your throat. This was a normal reaction after each flight. In a few minutes, you recover. When we flew 5 nights with maximum missions, we lost appetites and sleep in our reaction to the overstrain. We usually returned from the missions in early morning, had breakfast, and went to bed. But if we flew many, many missions at night, we couldn't fall asleep in the morning. And even if we couldn't sleep, we still had to fly again that next night. And the pilot sometimes fell asleep during a mission. We even had a kind of agreement between the pilot and the navigator that one of us would sleep going to the target and the other returning to the airfield. I have a feeling that there were times when both the navigator and the pilot dozed off for a minute or so because of exhaustion. Sometimes I even forgot whether I was flying toward the target or back from the target. At those times, we had to peer under the wings to see if the bombs were attached in order to know whether we were going or returning. Our doctor gave us pills, nicknamed Coca-Cola, to keep us awake. And sometimes we took so many of them that we couldn't fall asleep when we all lay down at night, in the morning. So, I'd like to start with 4 questions. And I'm going to just throw these out there. One can take them if they will. Here's my first question. Someone can take. What picture is taped to your plane's dash? Oftentimes pilots would sort of, when they go off to a mission, they tape something to the dash to sort of give them inspiration or luck or somebody that they care about or something that they care about before they fly off. And I want to know, do any of you have a picture or a painting or a drawing taped to your dash when you go and fly every night?
I feel like Titania purposefully doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Lena's is Lil Clipper. Like, it's not so much something taped to the dash as the whole plane.
The whole plane itself?
Yeah.
Well, a picture of Lil Clipper taped to the dash of Lil Clipper.
With a picture of Lil Clipper taped to the dash of Lil Clipper.
Little Clipper Inception.
Little Clipper Inception. Mac, that was just what I was thinking.
I don't feel like Irina does either,
Yep.
but I think that when she had that coin that Polia had given her,
Yeah.
she did have that in there.
Yeah. That's what
Because she was pretty much carrying that around with her everywhere in the time frame whenever she had it. But now she doesn't have it anymore.
She doesn't have it anymore. All right. How about this one? Do any of you all need Coca-Cola to stay awake during your missions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be everyone, really. Although maybe not Irina. I don't know. Maybe Irina doesn't need Coca-Cola.
I don't think she needs it, but she wouldn't be opposed to it.
I'm not opposed to it right now in real life. What's up?
All right, I've got another one for you. Who in the regiment evokes the strongest feelings from you, and why? And those don't have to be positive feelings. Just who in the regiment evokes the strongest feelings for each of you, and why?
Towards us, or do we have towards them?
That you have towards them.
I think mine is probably Anastasia for the most.
Why?
Because I feel like even though we're like complete opposites, we are both like socially inept in different ways. But see, Irina doesn't think that she is. And that's the difference. And so she kind of has like this protective sister kind of vibe that she has going on. And she also thinks that she needs to protect her from her own sister.
That's fair.
Because Irina thinks that that Anastasia's sister's up to something that's not good.
That may be accurate. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
Not saying you're wrong.
I mean, she did warn Titania too. So.
It's true. It is true.
I feel like who evokes the most emotion? Like, I think Titania has strong feelings for everybody beneath her. Like, she feels very responsible for everybody in the unit. But I think, honestly, some of the strongest feelings that she keeps a lid on pretty well would probably be towards Sarah. Just because, you know, they had been in the same places in Leningrad, and she has a lot of feelings about that, and she died right in front of her, and she carried her for a while. So I don't think she expresses those feelings a lot, but I think there's some very strong feelings about that.
Yeah. Mac, what about Nick?
Well, I mean, she obviously has a distaste for Anastasia, but
It's true.
Actually, I think the strongest feelings right now are towards Lena and what happened and everything. Nick feels a lot of guilt.
So would Mel be considered in our unit or outside of our? Okay, it would be Mel for Elena then.
Oh, it's gonna be such a good session today. Why is that?
I think that like Lena did this in her mind. Lena went to the hospital to protect Mel, and while she was there, just the idea that Mel was still out there and hopefully alive was a lot of like what kept her going through it until Alexei showed up and gave her an out.
So with that, let's start. You are all moved off of the flight line and you're brought in to a tent where you normally do your debriefings. It's not the tent that you stay in. It's one near the hangars, and you're waiting in this tent. And it's just your section at the moment, and you know that your squadron leader is going to come and debrief, but you also know that she has to sort of talk to the other sections first. So you have a little bit of time before she's going to come in. That's sort of standard, normal. I mean, if you were section A, you would get this right away, and then you might be able to get a little bit of extra time for breakfast and sleeping, but you have to wait a little bit. And it takes a little bit longer than normal before someone comes in for your debrief. But eventually, your squadron leader does come in, and Sasha Kajieva, she comes in and she's there by herself. Sometimes other people sort of show up, sometimes they don't. But she arrives and she looks to Irina with a little bit of concern. Comrade Sergeant, are your hands all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right, so tell me about the mission. How did it go?
It went well. We were successful at repelling the Nazis from our fields, and from what I understand, we were able to keep casualties to an extreme minimum. It seems that we got over there in the right time.
I heard there were some losses in the 218th, but not from you all, but from the Hitlerite bandits themselves coming in. But we won't know any of those details at the moment unless we get released them. But good job. I'm very proud of each and every one of you. And this is when Olga Barsukova walks in. She walks in and she's got a newspaper in her hand. And she's walking in and she does not look happy with this newspaper in her hand.
That's a shock.
Normally she looks quite happy. She's usually very happy. But she walks in with this newspaper clutched in her hand. It's a bit of a fist. And she is walking in with a purpose, right? And then she waits like 2 or 3 beats. And then the major, Yevdokia Bershanskaya, your regimental commander, walks in after her. And Captain Barsukova starts. And she says, "Comrades, I would like to share with you today's issue of Pravda. It's not out completely, but I have an early copy that has just gone to press, and I thought you might like to see it." And she tosses the newspaper onto the table.
Irina goes for it.
Irina just stays seated.
Irina will like lean over,
So,
open it up.
Nick's gonna lean over Irina's shoulder or around it because, she's much taller.
There is so much that could go into this issue of Pravda. Right? I mean, there was this talent show. There was this staged wedding. There was so much that could be there. There was the boxing match.
I'm looking to see if they wrote anything about me, and I want to see those sweet photos that I asked for.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what's on the cover? An amazing story about the heroic rescue of the heroic defeat of the Hitlerite bandits and the rescue of the auxiliary airfield of the 218th. This amazing, heroic act of bravery and heroism conducted by the men of the 218th to rescue their unit. And the entire story with a number of interviews with the Politruck, the male Politruck from the 218th, all described that the mission that you just came back from was all done by them. And there's no mention of you at all.
As soon as I start reading it and I see that it's not, and I see them taking credit for our shit, I just start like rolling it up and I like smack it back on the table. I'm like, those bastards. And it like makes a loud thunk as I hit it on the table. Unless like Nick or somebody tries to grab it from her.
I think
probably part of the newspaper rips. I don't know.
Nick is probably pretty upset too. And as you try and do that, tries to snatch it up from you to finish reading what was in there.
Yeah, I'd like smack it down. You can probably just take it and start reading it.
Tanya's going to turn to the powers that be.
They took credit for all of our work.
I assume there's
What kind of
nothing
bullshit
we
is
can do
that?
about this.
And Olga Barsukova doesn't really say anything. She's just sort of like there. And your major says, "Unfortunately, I'm very sorry. They got to the press. However, in consultation with Captain Barsukova, your captain had an idea, and it is one that I agreed with, and it is one that is not done for this, but because it is deserved."
Go on.
Captain Barsukova. And Captain Barsukova says, "Comrade Sergeant Alberg, stand."
She kind of like like looks around at like Nick and whoever else that's standing next to her, and she's like, all right. And she like stands up.
No. And she has this little evil glint in her eye, Captain Barsakova. Like, it just pops in her eye. She says, no, actually, I think I need all of you to stand and follow me. But march smartly.
Irina kind of like shrugs and looks around and follows her.
Will do.
After Titania.
Lena is like dripping in sweat.
Like the default Lena state.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we have to do something that's not flying. Boosh.
And
She raises her hand for something and it's just like like that dark black brown sweat. Because I'm letting you know these things are thick. If your sweat's showing through it, it's like
It's a feat.
it is a feat. These are very thick.
That is some sort of like metal or something.
And so Captain Barsakova and Major Bershanskaya are in the front of your section, and they start marching you out of this tent. And Major Bershansky is not really quite certain where Captain Barsakova is going with this, but is not going to argue with her. And they start marching you down past, right, the airfield over to the area of to the other side of the base where the 218th are stationed. And she keeps marching you right towards where the 218th are, and then she gets to one of these, one of the sort of the barracks areas. Like she's like, you're near where the command post is. And Captain Barsakova says, Airwomen, if you'll wait one moment, please. And she walks into this command post, and she's gone for just, a few minutes, a few moments. And
what are you doing out here?
I don't know, but I mean, we're going to be humiliated again by the 218th.
I hope not. I hope she marches them all out here butt naked.
And
that would be a sight.
And Anastasia blushes. She's like, naked?
I don't think it'd be worth seeing.
I nudged Titania. I'm like, come on. You got to admit it would be worth it.
For what they're working with, I doubt it.
Okay, Irina lets out like a huge deep chuckle with that. And then as soon as she sees like Olga like coming back, she like straightens up again.
And Olga comes out with the major of that unit, Popov, who is Alexei's uncle, and also the Polatruk, and a couple of other people. They go off, and the major's sort of waiting there with the Polatruk, and a couple of other people sort of rush off to the barracks, and there's a bell that rings. And it takes a little bit of time before the men of the 218th all assemble. They're being called to formation. And they are lined up, this unit. And like there's Alexei with his section, but they're all sort of lined up a bit. And there you are, all standing in front of them.
So Tony leads over to Irina. Maybe you'll get to box them.
I can only dream.
And Captain Barsakova says, Airwomen of the 588th Night Bombing Regiment. Normally we do these things in our home, but I thought that it would be most appropriate this morning to do this in the home of the 218th. And she smiles and she turns to the Polatruk of the 218th, and she just smiles at him so sweetly. And she turns around and she says, I would like Comrade Sergeant Irina Alberg to step forward, and also Lieutenant Titania Petrova to step forward.
I look over at her and I
kind of glance.
Yeah, and I step forward.
Mm-hmm.
And she holds up, these two cases, and Major Bershanskaya pulls out these two medals, Order of Battle Merit, and Captain Barsakova reads as the major comes up to each one of you, and Captain Barsakova says, "These two medals, the Medal of Battle Merit for the audience. They look like that. That is their medal. These two medals are awarded to our airwomen for their tireless devotion to the Soviet state. Just this morning, over the night for having bravely and with much danger and with much excellence saved the lives of the 218th Night Bombing Regiment by bombing their auxiliary airfield, and not only saving the lives of the 218th, but also the people of this area, the people of Bershanskaya, the people of Krasnodar, by making it so that the Hitlerite bandits could not land in our area, in our zone of operations, could not invade. It is through their bravery and through their sacrifices that all of us here in this moment survive and thrive, and that the Soviet state can move forward bravely. And it's for these reasons, for the brilliant leadership of Lieutenant Petrova, for the daring, bold bravery of Sergeant Alberg, who, even in this moment, you can see the scars on her hands from the acts that she did to save the 218th. It is for this reason that these two airwomen are awarded the Medal of Battle Merit. This medal is awarded for successful combat action, resulting in a military success, courageous defense of the state borders, or successful military and political training and preparation. And so, we are proud of you two, and by extension, the entirety of Section C of the 2nd Squadron, and by extension, the entirety of the 588th. Without whom many of the men here would be dead.
Irina looks like proud AF.
And she just turns to the Politruck and she says, Captain Miroslav, in medal ceremony it is customary that those who receive the medal are given a glass of champagne. I'm certain that as well supplied as you are, that you have champagne that you would, in your gratefulness, be happy to give to our airwomen. Do you not? And he goes, Indeed, Captain. And he walks off and he's mad, like he's all red-faced, just like his collar's too tight and he's red-faced, and he sort of walks off briefly and he comes back with like 2 bottles of champagne and some glasses, and he brings the glasses to Captain Barsakova and he pours champagne in each of these glasses, and Major Bershanskaya, who's got a bit of a grin now that she knows what's going on, drops the medals into the glasses and she hands them both to you, Irina, and to Tanya.
I grab them with my wrapped, bandaged hands.
And Tanya will cheers Irina.
Yeah, I clink mugs with her.
And take it back.
And you hear Alexei go, woo! And then realizing that not everybody else is clapping, so then he pauses, but then he goes, woo! And he like cheers, and then like you hear a couple here and there, like a couple more cheers amongst the units, and then after a little bit, you get just a little bit more applause, and it's not everybody, but it's like I would say the majority of that unit then cheer you, and the major sort of nods, and she says, well, I think that our formation is done.
After Titania has drank the champagne and retrieved the medal out, she kind of says under her breath to Irina, they seemed much more grateful last night when we saved their asses.
I like put my medal on too as I'm like taking out of the glass. I'm like, hey, that was pretty great. I mean, I'll give it to Olga.
And the command staff leaves, right? They sort of go, and you're still there. And then this young man rushes up.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Redhead, short, gangly.
Irina, I will leave you to it.
Come on. Really?
Are we leaving now? Are we leaving?
I think we can go back.
And he's like, Comrade Alberg.
I'm like trying to walk away.
Comrade Alberg, and like,
in fact, I think we should go.
Lena will like do a little wave to Alexei, but
he waves back. As you head back towards your end of the base. And and I will say that these the two, it was a very odd moment because they were not expecting a formation, and they were probably on their way themselves, like as you all further debrief and to have breakfast and to go to sleep after this mission. And they, of course, are trying to deal with the aftermath of having lost planes. But then they were all brought in for this formation, and it may not be in Pravda, but they all know. It is now on record who is responsible for that action.
Oh, they know.
They know.
They can know, or they can find out new designs for their planes. Prize design.
Mm-hmm.
And you are done. You're what has happened now is it's time for breakfast. You're heading off towards your tent, your mess tent on your side. And your tent is full of energy and excitement. It fills space for a number of airwomen. Where do you all sit?
I am going to try to sit away from Anastasia because I have to start putting out feelers for this party. So I'm going to try and purposefully go where she is not.
Mm-hmm.
Nick's actually going to try and sit next to Irina.
All right.
Wants to have a conversation because Irina had been so flattering about her climbing out on the wing of the plane, and here she is having her hands caught on fire.
Yeah, I think Irina is probably sitting somewhere by herself. She's got like a piece of paper that she's reading in her hand. It looks like a letter or something in her bandaged, burned hands.
That hurt, by the way.
Picture,
They hurt.
Yeah.
They hurt, yeah.
They don't feel good. But while we're figuring out where everyone's sitting, Lena, where do you sit?
I think that Lena would sort of just get her food and then try and find a place that's like somewhat available. She might have just sort of, I assume we had all kind of headed to the mess hall together. So she would have just kind of gone with the biggest clump of people, which it sounds like would have been Irina and Nick. I don't know if Anastasia.
I'm assuming Anastasia's with us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she would have just sat over there and just sort of like sat a little bit away from people. Like if anyone tried to sit too close to her, she would like move just a little bit, but she would just be eating.
Lena, I don't think you're being paranoid, but when you sit down, when you come into the tent, you have just arrived, right? You've not been here long. But
this is my first breakfast.
This is your first breakfast, but you swear people are whispering about you. And when you sit down, you notice two airwomen get up and move to a different table, not to be near you. Airwomen.
Does Irina see this?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Irina's like, good, get out of here.
No, that's okay. That's
No, if they want to be like that,
It's not okay.
see who's got their ass whenever we're out there in the sky. They know.
I don't think any of them could have landed a plane like you did.
Exactly.
well, I mean, it was a little clipper. You just sort of listen and then you go where you're supposed to. If you listen really carefully, sometimes you can feel the flaps right when they're about to turn. They'll like tell you that now is the time to drop or now is the time to lift. Do you have that?
Not the talking part, but I get where you're going with this, Lena. I get where you're going with it.
Mm-hmm.
While they're talking, Titania's going to try and like quietly to whoever she's sitting next to, which is probably Nick. Just be like, hey, so I got word that Anastasia's name day is coming up and we're going to try and throw her a little party.
Ooh, we?
Oh, yes, we.
That we doesn't include me, does it? Or is that what you're telling me right now?
It includes all of us.
Okay.
Come on.
And
you
want me to
need her to have all of her best friends in one place.
Like, she's a good pilot and we work well together, but damn it.
Look, I don't think it's going to need to be anything too extreme, but come on, you know.
Everything with her is extreme. Are you kidding?
That's exactly why we won't have to do anything too extreme. Besides, look, you and I both know she is young, perhaps seeming younger than she is. And you know, she's so naive. It'll mean a lot to her.
Meanwhile,
What
on the other side of the
exactly do you have in mind for me to do?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, if you could, I don't know, if you could maybe talk to Mel and see if we can get a hold of any bad vodka, just so we have a little bit extra.
I can do that.
Besides, I think it'll be good for the morale of all of us to have a little bit of light time.
I'll see what I can do on that front.
Appreciate it.
And then meanwhile, on the other end of the table, you were saying, Irina?
Yeah, meanwhile, I thought they were paused because it was like a long pause. Meanwhile, on the other side of the table, I'm just like, I lean in towards Lena. I was like, do we tell you how we found the Clipper? And like, so that's what was happening on the other side of the table is we were telling her how we found Clipper after the crash.
But no. And like Lena will listen with rapt attention.
And I'm sure Anastasia is just adding her own flavor to it.
Oh, and with Anastasia's version, it's very romantic and amazing, and like there's like explosions, and you're like,
No, the explosions weren't there, but that would be cool if it did happen like that.
Wouldn't it?
Weren't there? There weren't explosions?
Well, I mean, there were before when it crashed originally, I suppose.
Yeah, I was there for that part.
But we went out in a truck. There was all of us, and it was amazing. We were like explorers, and there was this beautiful woman with this big scar on her face. Her name is Veronica Cordina, and she's beautiful like a movie star, except she has a scar. But I thought it might have happened because of a branch when she was running, but it turns out that her town was bombed, and so I think it's shrapnel that hit her face.
I told her not to ask her about it, and she just went on about it anyway.
I think you asked her about it.
Yeah.
Nick, hearing some of this conversation from the other end, is gonna look at Irina and go, "Yeah, it's a good story, but also, did you have to one-up me? I mean, what's going on here? Are you feeling okay?"
Hey, some people got that fire. She kind of like lifts up her hands.
Yeah, usually it's not literal.
Gotta keep it hot.
Yeah, Irina doesn't do things part way. I'm not surprised.
Why do it part way when you could do it all the way, man? That's what I say.
You're not gonna have any hands left if you do it all the way.
Hey, I've seen some stuff that they make. Maybe someday I'll be able to have like cyborg hands or something.
Well, wait until then.
No.
Do anything crazy.
Ivanova, she leans over and she goes, "Alberg, boxing match?"
She
I just
could
give her
still
like
kick your ass.
I kind of like nod at Nick when Nick says that.
Didn't she already beat you?
Even
And I was like, my comeback's really good to this right now. And she just picks up her bread.
she really needs to work on that.
She needs to work on a lot of things.
True.
But
hey, I gotta give it to her. Put up a good fight.
Thank you, Alberg.
You weren't supposed to hear that.
Oh. And there people are still sort of tittering about Lena because she's the new gossip on the
If anyone talks around me and I hear it, I'm just like, I give them the stink eye, or I'm like, hey. I tell them a time that Lena like helped them or saved their ass.
Aww. I think Lena just between hearing about the Clipper, she probably pauses to hear about the Clipper, but then the rest of the time she's just shoveling food in her mouth so she can get out of the mess hall as soon as possible.
And I just want to, for the cast and the audience, I just want to remind you all the current state of affairs. At this moment, Irina has got 2 harm. And because everyone's been pretty stressed out, and also she's got burned hands at the moment. And Lena, just a flesh wound, but it's like a fleshy flesh wound. It's all like flesh.
Why?
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then just use the word flesh. That's all. And then Lena is also at 2 harm because she has been in a hospital that is not a place you go for healing. And Nick has got 1 harm for massive amounts of stress and lack of sleep. And the only person who has been invigorated recently and does not have any harm would be Titania. So
Got some of that healing.
that's right. Mm-hmm. And I also want to point out that of your planes, Little Clipper is currently damaged. So that is your current state as you go off for your day.
Nick's gonna plant herself a little closer to Irina and be like, all joking aside, seriously, what you did was amazing.
Thanks.
I know how scary it is climbing out on the wings, and what you did, you earned the medal you got today.
To be honest, the door ringing. To be honest, I didn't even remember it all happening. It kind of like was like second instinct. I just kind of went up there and did it, and I didn't really think about it until I stopped and my hands were burning. Motherfucker's hurt.
Yeah, I have to imagine, but I understand the feeling. It's just in the moment, you have to do it. And I remember you voiced a lot on my behalf when I did what I did, and I just want you to know I appreciate it, and that I have your back on this too.
Thanks. I mean, not quite the same. I mean, you walked out on both wings. I'm surprised you made it on the first one and you walked out on the second one. And look, you uncoupled those bombs. That's not an easy feat. I just held together a wing.
That was on fire. Look, I'm supposed to be the stoic cold one here.
Right.
And just kind of laughs.
That's cute.
I feel like with a significant new truth, we might have a reach out between you two. I just somebody.
Potentially, just a little region.
Yeah. Somebody give me a significant new truth, and I feel like there's a reach out here.
Yeah. That's just 2d6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each in.
Okay. Oh, partial success.
Ooh.
I got an 8.
Who do you have regard for?
I have regard for Anastasia
And Mel.
and Mel.
So this is you have a choice. You have 3 options. You can pick one. Remove 1 harm from you and your friend. Change the target and tone of a currently filled regard slot, or add 1 to the mission pool.
I'm definitely going to remove harm.
Okay. Both of you heal 1 harm,
Huzzah!
which you really need. I will say that.
Yeah.
I like to imagine after the bandages come off, my hands are just like fudged. Like they're just scarred.
Yeah, they'll be really scarred. You'll be able to use them fine, but they'll look nasty.
Yeah, they'll be like coarse and.
Yeah.
How Michelle feels about my burned hands.
I just have burns. They're a thing.
Yeah, burns are not fun,
No.
Oh, I got too many of them. They're not fun.
especially if it's like your skin actually came off. It's like,
Yeah. It's no good.
Come on.
As we were
They
saying,
definitely did. I'm just saying.
Lena, what are you doing? You're done with breakfast.
I think after Elena got done like shoveling her food in her mouth, she would want to go and try and help fix Little Clipper.
Before you do, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Last game, Lena put a note in Little Clipper in the tail, somewhere where she knew that Mel would find it.
Mm-hmm.
What does the note say?
The note says it just says, I'll be at the church at like whatever right before they would all need to head to mess hall for dinner would be. Because she heard that like the church existed, and so she was like, that's an out of the way place, hopefully, that like people don't end up at frequently. And that's all it says. It's not signed.
Yeah.
Not traceable. I mean, unless someone knows her handwriting.
Right. So you make it into the hangar where the planes are, and there is Little Clipper, and the struts are split, and they're working on this, right? Trying to redo canvas. But the problem, of course, is that there's also other planes to service, and you know how this is. There's never enough time to get everything done, and if you really want Little Clipper up and running again, you're going to have to go and help. And when you walk in, it's a weird mood. There are 5 mechanic armors, and there's Mel. And when she sees you, she smiles. But not everyone smiles. Some people don't really quite know how to react when they see you. Some people sort of nod, but are a little bit standoffish. Some people smile a little bit and wave, but they're not, like, it's all a little bit awkward about how to deal with you now that you've returned. Mel doesn't seem to act weirdly at all. She just sort of smiles and waves and says, "Huh, Dozmanova. I'm sorry, Popova. Welcome back."
Thanks. I'm here to help with the Little Clipper.
Right.
Just here to help with the Little Clipper.
Well, we appreciate when pilots care about the planes, and you are always welcome here in the hangar to help us out.
And I care about the planes, about Little Clipper. What can I do? And she just starts like rolling up her sleeves.
Well, we have to restretch canvas, and we have to replace some of that wood. And then she looks at one of the privates who's been a little bit like, oh, you know, and says, "Go and get the canvas. Don't just stand there. Come on." And I'm going to need a repair roll from you.
Okay.
I
have Protector, which means I can repair well. Does that mean I get to add to my roll?
That means you get but you get fewer bad consequences.
Oh, yay! Fewer bad consequences. Always a plus.
This is skill, and you get +1 for your regard.
Oh yeah, that's right. Little Clipper.
Oh, so now normally you'd have to choose 2 of these negative consequences, but you only have to choose 1. So you can fix this plane. You're going to spend this time fixing it, but choose 1 only. She'll fly eventually, but not tonight. You take 1 harm for spending a long time sort of sitting here working on this, which is you do not complete the job in the officially approved manner, or the plane acquires a personality if it doesn't have one already, which it does. So she'll fly, but not tonight. Take 1 harm, or you complete the job, but not in an officially approved manner.
I think Lena completes the job in an unofficially approved manner. I cannot take any more harm.
You can't. It would be bad for you.
I really need to do a reach out, but she would repair the Little Clipper, and she wouldn't hang around the mess hall.
Yeah. Tell me about how you get this done and fixed, but not in an approved way.
So normally you would put the frame up, and then you stretch the canvas over the top. And kind of first you take care of the outside of it, and then you take care of like making sure that all of the wiring and the connectors and everything is like secured. So you kind of like you get your frame into place, you take care of the little things, and then you finish up the frame over the top. But Lena just sort of dove into the heart of it, and she started connecting things in the way that made intuitive sense to her, not necessarily in the way that was like, this is how you always connect an airplane, like this is how you connect the flaps. She was like, oh no, actually I think I'm going to connect them in this way. And then she built up the frame over the top of it afterwards.
And I imagine perhaps you don't have enough canvas.
Probably not.
So you probably have to get some canvas from somewhere else.
Oh,
perhaps.
I think once she realizes that they don't have enough canvas.
How How do you acquire extra canvas?
She would go over. Guys, I'm sure have lots of canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when she goes over there, she's got like grease on her, and she's just like up to her elbows in grease. And she walks over to Alexi's dorm, and just like knocks on the door.
When you knock on the door, you hear a bit of a scuffle, like as you're approaching the door, and you knock and the scuffle stops, and there's like a couple of beats, like not too long, but a couple of beats, and then you hear, "Yeah, come in."
It's probably better if you come out.
And then there's like, you hear some like muffled talking, and then like a couple more beats, and then Alexi comes out. His door opens to the section, and he comes out, and you can see him. He looks he's got like a red mark on his cheek as if he's been punched, but probably just like very, very recently. So it's not a black eye or anything like that. And his uniform's been straightened up, but like you can tell that like the shoulder board's just a little bit off. And he smiles and he goes, and he just says, "Gentlemen, it's my wife." And he steps outside of the tent. It's not a tent. It's an actual building. And he shuts the door behind him and he goes, "Oh, hey.
I'm sorry, I didn't warn you. I didn't.
No, you saved me. It's okay. What
happened to your face? What happened to your face?"
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Sometimes it's easier if you just don't worry about it. That's what I told myself in the hospital. Then it might hurt for a little while, but at least you don't have to worry about it while it's hurting. So that seems good. Sorry.
No, hey, everybody's really mad about that ceremony this morning.
I didn't think they were going to get it. I mean, it was some pretty crazy flying. Did you see Irina? She literally held Lil Clipper together with her hands. With her hands, Alexi.
That's crazy.
I know.
How are you?
I'm fine. I was wondering, I'm here because Lil Clipper isn't fine. And there isn't enough canvas to repair everything. So I was wondering if you have some canvas, and then maybe I could clean something, or I could take care of something, and then I could have the canvas, and then I could.
Don't worry about it. I will get the canvas for you. Don't worry about it.
I should clean something.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I will get some. We have more than we need. I mean, well, we're in a bit of trouble now. We've lost some planes, but still. I will get you some.
Thanks. Sometimes if you put something cold on it right after it happens, it feels a little bit better.
Oh. Yeah, well, nobody's going to say anything about my wife and not get in trouble for it. So.
What? You don't have to. You shouldn't. You don't have to. You don't have to. She has like grease all over her hands, so she's like tugging it down. She's just like making her uniform like one great big like black grease mess.
And don't worry anyway. These guys are jerks anyway.
People just need something to talk about, they always do.
Yeah. So give me a second. And I'm gonna just head over to my hangar. I'll be right back. Yeah, just wait here.
Okay. I'm gonna wait I'm gonna wait behind, because then it's nobody's stairs.
I'll be right back. You don't want to be in the hangar. The mechanics there are a bunch of roughnecks. I'll be right back. And he heads off towards his hangar, which is not too far away. And you're there right by the barracks. and you can hear the guys talking in Alexi's barracks, and you can hear like there are two of them, and one's like, huh, "You know that marriage is fake." I'm like, "Of course it is. You know it has to be, because we just lost somebody. Let's go here." There for a moment until somebody hits back. The titles may be a little off, but we'll get there. And it's like, "Oh, you know that's marriage fake." And I don't even know. I mean, I can't imagine it. So I don't know. Well, you know what though? But that's how they are. Those types, they always marry each other so that nobody knows, but we know. Yeah, well, we're not going to let up. We don't want anybody like that in our unit. And then it's like, Alexei comes back with like a big sort of bolt of heavy canvas. He's like, "Hey, I got it for you. No big deal, but you may want to leave the area as quickly as possible."
Oh, thanks. Lena's like insta sweat. And she just like, she takes the canvas and then actually I think she would like give him a hug over the top of the canvas after hearing that conversation. And then she would take the canvas really fast and be like, "Just tell me what I need to clean." And then she would like,
"Hey, wait, Lena, I got a letter from your brother. He's doing well, better."
"Oh, good. I don't know if my letters are going through, but I sent one."
"Oh, I won't ask him about it because that's private. But I just want to let you know that he said hi."
"Please tell him hi."
"Well, I'm sure you'll get a letter from him yourself." If you want to have dinner with me sometime, they said that we can, eat in the same place at some point if you wanted to.
"Oh, yeah. I should go before the canvas gets caught."
Yeah, but I could come to your mess tent if you wanted.
"Yeah. They're weird there too."
Oh, thought they might be nicer than mine? Go fix your plane. I've got to go back to mine. Try to get sleep.
"We could get dinner sometime, but little Clipper."
Right. All right.
Thank you.
Oh.
Oh.
No, you guys.
No, that's all I have.
Oh. Okay. All right, well, bye.
Okay. Bye.
And
then she'll just like run back, and then she'll just like come into the hangar with like presumably more canvas than is like canvas. It's a little bit much for her.
Yeah. And because she's not tall.
No, Lena's short and she's really like petite.
She's got this huge bolt of canvas.
So she like by the time she gets there, whatever sweat came from like, "Oh goodness, I have to interact with people," has been replaced with, "Oh goodness, I have to just work." So yes, but then I think that like she like starts. Hopefully, there's like enough canvas left over too to help some of the other planes.
And there is, because he gave you a pretty big bolt of canvas.
Oh, sweet guy.
And you spend the afternoon sort of working. This morning time period working on this plane. Nick, what are you doing?
Having my connection come back online.
We missed you.
Oh, sorry about that. Everybody's name tags are all messed up now.
Should we drop and then go in the order? We know the order.
We'll fix it and break.
Okay. You can do it in 2 seconds.
Oh, now I get to eat all the cheese.
No! Why didn't I get to eat all the cheese, man?
I don't know what just happened, but I'm going to assume that at some point Nick is going to go and see Mel to talk about vodka.
So you walk into the hangar, and a couple of the mechanics see you, and they nod. And they're like, "Hey, Nick." Because you're just there every day, and that you have just sort of become part of this crew. And one thing you notice is like kind of a slightly different world because a lot of the mechanics and armorers and the people who are not pilots hang out. There's a bit of a divide between the non-pilots and the pilots and navigators, right? And so you kind of sit in both of these worlds a little bit. And when you go in there, there's Lena. And she is working, stretching. She is, first off, completely covered in grease and also sweat. And she's stretching canvas over a little clipper, which has been injured. And she's working on fixing this plane. And yeah.
Seeing Lena in there working on the plane, Nick would actually go over to her and, hey, do you need some help?
Oh, hey. Yeah. Could you pass me the twine down there? I just need to tie it off.
Yeah, of course. And hands her the twine.
Thanks. It's just, when you're trying to put the frame back together, you got to be really careful. Keep tension on both sides, or it just flies right off. And could you just hold that while
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks. You know how it is. Well, you have repaired a plane, right?
No, but I've spent some time around here, so I've seen them repairing them.
Oh, well, can you help me on we got to do the same thing on the other side. Then we'll be able to sew this one up and we can come back. I've repaired a lot, honestly. Like it was the easiest way to learn exactly how everything connects in, how the rudder connects into the floor pedal, which I had changed them a little bit. I should tell Irina about it. I made just a slight tweak, which I think will be a little bit better in the long run if we think about the way that we need to leverage when we take off. But it's really, really important for her to know that when she depresses the pedal, it's going to have a little bit more resistance than she's used to. Anyway, can you hold this part?
Yeah, got it.
I used to do it, mostly when they were trying to teach us how to fly, they had to have somebody come back and take care of the planes that people messed up. I didn't mess up that many. I messed up a few. It was some bad landings at first. Landing is one of the hardest parts, but anyway, so there
How
was
much Coca-Cola did they give you?
I had a little extra this afternoon because there was a lot of work to get done on Little Clipper and I needed to make sure that it happened. And the really important part when you're taking care of Little Clipper is to give it just the sort of passion and intensity. Otherwise, when it takes off, it's going to know that it wasn't repaired with intensity or passion. And that should just be awful. Can you hold this part over here while I tug over this side?
Sure.
Thanks.
And
you're really good at fixing planes.
I'm good at holding things that I've been asked to hold, at least. So I guess I have that going for me.
Hold that side and just tug it down like a little inch.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
That part. Okay, thanks.
I'm going to note that Mel is nowhere near you two at this point in time. She's on the other end of the hangar.
Yeah. But on purpose or...
She's got work to do on the other end of the hangar at this moment.
So would I.
Are you you're doing okay, right?
Huh? I mean, yeah, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm doing really good. I just want to make sure we can, fly tonight, and get it up, which I think we will be able to. I'm 90% sure. I just need to get the struts reattached correctly. Speaking of which, could you hand me that wrench?
Yeah, and hands her the wrench and kind of holds onto it for a second so that it's in both their hands. And I'm like, but I was asking about you and not the plane, right? And then lets go of the wrench.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Somehow I don't believe that. You don't have to talk about it, but we're glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back too. Sometimes the ways that people can cure you is just the things that you need to have in order to be cured. They're difficult to handle, and sometimes they're really tough and they hurt a lot. But then as a result, you can I don't know. Everything is kind of different now, and it's always different, and everybody looks at me really weird, and I don't blame them because
that's their problem. That's on them. They're judging you and they don't understand.
Yeah. You should be careful around me too, because I could not be cured, I mean, I'm cured. I'm totally cured, but
There was nothing to cure.
how can you say that?
How can you say that there was something to cure? You were fine and you were an amazing airwoman, and who cares about anything other than that? You served Mother Russia to the best of your ability, and that's all that they should be asking of any of us. That's why we're here. So why do they give a damn about anything else outside of us taking care of Mother Russia? And it wasn't fair and it wasn't right, and you shouldn't have been there.
You really think that there is nothing to cure?
Yeah, I do. And I think you know that too.
I don't think I'm cured.
It's not about being cured.
No.
You should never have been in that place. I mean, Mel's told me about what it's like.
When you say Mel's name, she goes from like Lena to like drenched in sweat.
Mel sees that there's an intense conversation going on and just walks past you all. And as she walks past, she just puts on the wing that you're working on 2 glasses of vodka and a small bottle of this rot gut vodka and continues walking past so that you have that.
And Nick smiles just a little bit. And, maybe we do deserve a drink, you and I.
I think it would be good to steady my nerves.
And Nick's gonna go and grab the vodka and pour it, and like, let's sit. Let's sit. You can you sit in the pilot seat, I'll sit in the navigator seat, and we'll have a drink.
Okay. Just for a minute. For a minute.
To Mother Russia, but also to sisterhood.
Yeah.
Really glad you're back.
It's really good to be back. I missed everybody. There are people I need to catch up with, but I don't want anyone to have to go to the hospital. So probably better to play it safe, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, people are watching. They shouldn't be. It's none of their damn business, but
I don't even know how they saw it before, so I don't even know how to avoid it now.
Is there somebody you want me to pass a message on to, or? I know it's going to be difficult for you to talk to anybody, and I mean, it's even us sitting here, but I don't care what they think.
For the audience's perspective, she trusts Nick a lot, but what she's tumbling in her mind right now is the question mark of how much she trusts Nick to be able to give Nick Mel's name, because then that's getting somebody else into trouble, right? Like she could end up in the back of the hospital or whatever by saying as much as she has so far, but by giving away Mel's name, then that risks somebody else. So that's kind of what's tumbling through her head right now.
Yeah, and my assumption is that while Nick and Mel have gotten very close, that it would have been too much of a pain point to really dive into everything that happened with Lena. So I think Nick doesn't actually know.
Okay. I think so. Instead, Lena just shakes her head, and she's gonna she'll take the full swig and she'll shake her head and say, I left a note that oh, actually, Trooper, is the note still where she had tucked it?
It is not.
Okay.
The
So
note,
yeah, she'll just
the note has been retrieved.
So she'll just say, no, I left a note. Hopefully it's not there anymore anyway, so hopefully it got into the right hands. But thanks.
Yeah, I mean, if you need something or something like that, you may be surprised I can be discreet when I want to be.
Pretty sure that's the only side I've seen of you.
Well, we're all complicated.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes when you think you know things and you think you know everything, then you find out something new. Like, you know, I have known Alexei like almost my entire life, and he is just a different person than I thought.
Good way or in a bad way?
No, I think we might be alike in some ways, you know, in our sense of flying and in our ability to get up into the sky, and in our in the sense that we grew up in the same town, and in the sense that we both know my brother, and in the sense that, and she just starts like,
Nick's gonna pour another glass of vodka for Lena as she starts rambling again.
Thanks.
Yeah. Seemed like you needed it.
I should get back to repairing soon. There's a lot to get done this. There's a lot to get done this afternoon. I've not had vodka in a while.
Let me help you finish repairing Little Clipper, and then we should get some sleep.
Oh, okay. So the last thing that we need to do is we need to I think I shouldn't finish this.
I got you covered. Nick's gonna knock it back.
Then I think like Lena just like keeps trying to sort of like tipsy explain where things need to go, and like the holding things and the helping things while she like connects stuff in.
And Nick, I will tell you, the way she's having you repair this plane in a way that you have never seen a plane look before. Before she was drunk, it looked weird. It still looks pretty weird. It looks like it'll work, but let me put it this way. You would not want inspectors to see what this plane looks like. It is idiosyncratic and odd.
Would you say it's a little sassy?
It's a little sassy. I think I would say that. I would say that.
A little sassy.
Well, that's happening. Titania, what are you doing?
Oh man, I've got to figure out this celebration, man. So afterward, I'm gonna go ahead and. Is there any way I can talk to Irina without Anastasia being right there? Like, what's everybody else doing?
Well, Lena and Nick are in the hangar, which is sort of like back at like old days, really. And
I did have a plan to talk to Anastasia.
Oh, who gets to talk to her first is the question.
Oh no,
Ooh.
if we let Irina go first, any cheese Anastasia has will be gone.
I know, we got the cheese bandit over here.
Okay, I will take Cheese Bandit as a title, and I will wear it proudly.
Cheese Bandit.
I'm just jealous. I'm angry because I'm jealous. Okay, so I'm gonna, when everyone's getting up from the breakfast, I'm going to assume Anastasia has to leave at some point to take her tray away, to do any number of things. When she does, to Irina, I'm gonna Be like, hey, so
I really wanted to have a conversation with Irina.
Right now, you two are talking. You two have got some time together
I
before
got
it
you.
happens.
I'm talking to you now. I grabbed you. So I'm going to just say, so I want to let you know, Anastasia's name day is coming up, and we were going to have a little celebration for her.
Oh, see, and this is why I think I wanted to talk to Anastasia first, because I wanted to tell Anastasia about there was a party.
I know you did. I know all about you.
I think Irina's the spoiler. That's what she's like.
Yeah, I don't know why there's not a.
Here's what happens. Oh, I was talking to Anastasia about that. I didn't know it was a party for her.
Well, what did you say?
Let's
Her
rewind.
sister was talking about a party and asked if I was being a part of it, and then was like all mysterious. I ate some cheese. She gave me a letter. It's freaking weird. I had a feeling she didn't want me to be there.
When was this?
I think like a couple nights ago. Yeah, something like that.
So we only put together a party for Anastasia? I think it would be, I've already talked to Nick. I think it would be really good for, I think it would be good for her, but I think it would be good for all of us, given everything that's been going on, just to have some.
You're not going to ask me to do some weird ballet thing again, because I'm really I don't want to do that again. Okay? Did it once.
I was going to ask you
Alright.
to do it in the air. I'm kidding. I'm not. No, the main thing is I asked Nick to go see if she could get a hold of some bad vodka for us. And, well.
You want me to get some good vodka?
Yes. If that's something you feel comfortable doing, that would be wonderful.
Maybe. Would I know where I can get some good vodka?
There are many places where you can get, you know that Svetlana has good vodka. You saw that on her desk. All those high mucky mucks have good vodka.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. I can try to do that. That sounds. But why'd you come to me? I mean, out of all the people that you could ask.
I'm letting everybody in our squad know, just so that we're ready. I think I'm shooting for after this next mission.
All right.
So,
is this supposed to be like a surprise or something? Because, like I said, I think I might have maybe spoiled it.
Well, given that you didn't know all the details, I'm sure you could have only shared so much with her.
I give you a look and then I'm like, I think Anastasia got really excited, so.
Regardless, I don't know that it really matters. Just make sure you're ready for a party after this next mission.
By the way, I'm going to freeze frame this for one moment. Now, what I want you to imagine these two women in the foreground talking to each other, and I want you to imagine in the background, you have Anastasia at the back of the mess tent talking to a bunch of people about a party that's going to happen, and she has no idea that it's hers. So she's in the background all excited about a party, but you can't hear her talking. It's just, I just want you to know that framing the scene, right? You're in the front. In the back.
I was like, Titania, you're not getting around this one. It already happened.
Out of my hands. I'm doing my part, and that's all that I can do. And I will not trouble myself.
You want me to tell anyone else to join, or?
Well, at this point, might as well.
All right, where are we having this shindig?
Initially, my plan was to have it a small affair in our bunk, but I see that that's probably not going to be the case anymore. So maybe here.
I mean, Anastasia's involved. No, that's never the case.
That was my thinking exactly. How about here? Here, we'll meet here at the end of the next mission. It will be here. It will be fine. It will be great.
It's a lot of people to cram in here.
It'll be fine.
Okay, well, as long as no one throws up on my bed, I'm fine with that.
Well, are we? I thought we're still in the mess hall.
Yeah, right now you're in the mess hall.
Oh, I thought we were in our
because you waited. She waited until Anastasia went off to get some food.
Table, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the mess hall. It'll just tell everyone that you can. Try and at least not let her know it's for her if you can.
I can do that.
That's all I have ever asked. Thank you.
I feel like I'm going to need scrounge rolls from both of you two to get all the things you're trying to get.
Okay.
Oh, scrounge isn't an eyeball roll, though. Okay.
No. Scrounge
I really want to use my...
is luck.
Oh, I'm bad at luck. Also, I really think it'd be funny to have a conversation with Shemretova.
Oh, yeah, I just want to know your roll first.
I know it's going to happen. I don't even know why I try and pretend like...
But if you do have regard for Anastasia, you do get the +1 because this is for her.
That evens me out then. I
Mhm.
do have a regard for her.
All right, here you go first.
9.
Oh, okay.
I have like 10 die boxes open and I can't get rid of them. They're haunting me.
Why do you have 10 open?
And I only have regard for my plane, so here we go.
Mhm.
Rolled a 7.
Both got partial successes.
Yeah, so
Together, that's like 1 success. So we'll at least have a semblance of a party.
you're gonna get the stuff. The question is,
That's all I ask.
what cost will that be to get the stuff?
Apparently
Oh,
my
no.
soul. I don't...
If this were Nick, she's a misanthrope, so that she would take 1 less negative consequence. But you all get to pick 2.
That's
I will ask Titania first because Arena has some Svetlana involved. So pick 2. Attract unwanted attention. Take 1 harm for lack of sleep because you're doing this rather than getting enough sleep. You get
Okay.
poor quality stuff or incur a debt. Pick 2.
I'll take poor quality stuff because my bar is already set real low. And I'm actually clear on harm right now. Give me a harm. I don't want to owe anybody any more than I already do.
Okay. You are able to scrounge up some food, right? Some
good.
right,
Food,
like
that'll
some food and like kind of like a kind of a sad cake.
An ugly cake? Is it an ugly cake?
It's an ugly cake.
It's just kind of like
Frosting.
down on one side. Actually, you know what? I think I went to my friend Boris for this.
Oh, Boris. Yes.
Oh, Boris. Oh, Boris. So I think for this I found Boris and I was like, hey, we have good rapport.
Petrova.
Boris.
Uh,
The man who can get it all.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Does he have any guys he's trying to impress around him?
Of course, he always does. He has a little gaggle, like always.
So I'll play to that a little bit. Boris, I know that you can get a hold of anything. And
Do you want to eyeball him?
yes, this is my chance.
This is your chance. This is skill.
Skill,
Mhm.
but also I'm going to use one of my moves, which is political thought. I'm going to ask, is there evidence of violation of Articles 58 and 133?
You can ask once you roll, but you get a +1 because this is for Anastasia.
All right, very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone. My rolling's gone. What did you say was
Skill.
skill? All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, 11
That
straight.
11 success. Yeah.
You may ask 2 questions. The one you want to ask is if there's evidence of violation of those 2 articles.
Boris,
Uh,
y-
That's
is
the
there
first
evidence
question
of
you want to ask.
violation
Oh,
of these
yeah.
articles? For I know you would never, Boris. I trust you.
Oh, yeah, no, all over the place. Like, he's a black marketeer. He is
And,
clearly...
I'm just trying to get him to be more ready to do what I want him to.
I will tell you this. The answer to that is why, yes, there is. Clearly, he gets all sorts of things unauthorized in ways he should not. You could get him in a lot of trouble for his black marketeering, or, you could blackmail him. Whatever.
I'm not looking toward blackmailing. I'm going to be like, Boris, I, for one, am shocked at all of the things that I see here, but I know that really you're a solid guy, Boris. I know that, Boris,
What?
we go so far back, Boris, you and I, and I just really think that I can trust you. Boris, can you trust me, Boris? Do you think you can trust me?
He goes, gentlemen, out. He gets his privates to leave. And he's like, Why do you have such conversations in front of my men? And I will note for the record, they're not necessarily his supply sergeants. Like, he's actually by himself, but these are like just random, maybe a pilot or like a mechanic.
I'm sure he just gathered.
Yes, he just gathers random impressionable people that he, wants to impress.
Boris, trust me, nothing instills awe quite so much as scandal.
I'd want no scandal. Okay, tell me what is going on.
All right, look, it's a member of my...
By the way, you also have another question you can ask about Boris at any time, so you know.
Oh, I'm biding my time.
You have another Boris question.
Boris, so one of my squad is having a name day celebration, and I'm looking for a cake and maybe some snacks.
Cake and snacks. Sugar's very hard to get.
I believe in you, Boris. Look at this is the face of someone who believes in you.
Why do you want to come into my supply and make my life difficult?
Because I like you, Boris. I can't keep myself away from you.
Hey, I'm going to be married, so do not hit on me.
So a cake? You can get a hold of a cake?
I tell you what, I can make... You have to help me make it. I'm not good at cake making.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's
okay.
Fine. At this point, Tanya knows, like, she has experience with painterly pursuits, but not with baking. Like, I don't think she's ever baked anything a day in her life. Like, she's eaten stuff, but that's about as close to so.
I want you to imagine Boris is able to acquire the materials.
Also, this is how rumors start.
This is how rumors start. Boris is able to acquire the materials to make this cake, and he sort of sneaks you off to, the kitchen. And you two together, rather than sleeping, try to make a cake.
I mean,
that's what the kids are calling it these days.
we all know where my interests lie, and they're certainly not with Boris.
And you two make the saddest cake. Like, you make it, right? You do make this cake, but it is sad because...
I'm imagining this cake looks like what a baked good, like if personified, would be just a frowning face. Like with a single tear.
Like the like crack in the cake when it was in the tin.
Oh yeah.
Just like a little like wah, wah.
Oh yeah, and it's like it's leaning like precariously. There's some icing on there, but it's more of like a
And they're like little pieces of fruit. And through this process, you and Boris, like you spend like over an hour, right, in this whole thing. And like you have time talking, and through this time you're chatting with him, you're talking with him, and there are a couple of things you know about him. One, he clearly has connections to the black market, which could get him executed. But he's able to get a lot of things. That's your violation of the articles. But you also know that he is completely in love with Sergeant Yu. Like that is clear to him that he talks about her all the time, and he's hoping that maybe and he complains about the fact that married people don't even necessarily get to see each other very often, except maybe for meals. And so the sort of the difficulty of not, even though they're on the same base, but they can't really interact very much. And he's hoping, like, and he kind of like talks a bit about his dreams about after the war. He's like, I imagine Sophie and I will perhaps, I don't know, make some kind of something. We'll live somewhere beautiful, perhaps on the Black Sea. And I don't know what we'll make. Something, or maybe we'll go to Vladivostok where she's from. But like he's sort of like spinning these sort of post-war dreams. And
he's warming my cold heart. All right, so once we get done with this cake, I'm going to go ahead and throw out, be like, look, I really appreciate your help with this cake. You know what, I'll tell you what. Why don't you and Sergeant Yu come to the party after the mission?
Oh. If there's party, I will bring my vodka. It's not as high quality as Svetlana can get, just side note. But, it's mid-level quality.
I initially asked for low quality, so...
So you have a good low-quality cake and some fruit from the area. You've got some snacks. Irina, I think you're heading over to Svetlana's office.
Killing me.
You also have to pick 2. Attract unwanted attention. Take 1 harm from lack of sleep. Get poor quality stuff or incur a debt. Pick 2.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's go for it. I get unwanted attention and I own a debt.
Mm-hmm.
That seems logical.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you head over to Sheremetyeva's office. And unbeknownst to you, but everybody else knows, i.e. the audience, but not you, as you come walking down the hallway and Olga Barsakova sees you approaching the office, and she just stays out of sight. And you, I assume, knock on Svetlana Sheremetyeva's door.
Yes.
This is not the first time you've been to Svetlana's office. You've been here multiple times, sometimes a little bit loud. People notice. Svetlana goes, come in.
I open the door, close the door, sit down. I look comfortable.
She looks at you with this, like, what do you do? How do you solve a problem like Irina?
Sing about it.
That's what you do. You sing about it. And she looks at you and she sort of slicks back her hair. And she says, what?
Ma'am, I don't know why you didn't just tell me that we were throwing a party for your sister to begin with.
That's complicated. But yes, how's it going?
Well, so that's kind of why I'm here.
Okay.
Well, I saw that you had a bottle of pretty nice vodka, and I have a mission to get some vodka. So I was wondering, it's your sister, it's her party. You get where I'm going with this one?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You want some vodka from me.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Wasn't sure if I was like, look, someone told me I'm too blunt sometimes, so I'm trying to be like, do this nice thing, be tactical about my conversations.
I find you very subtle. I sometimes don't even know what you're implying.
See, that's what I was thinking too. I'm pretty subtle.
Yeah. So, Alberg, yes, I can get you some vodka.
Sweet.
It's not as easy to just sort of drop it off, but I can do it. I'm going to need a favor back from you, though.
Okay. Like what?
To be determined later.
What is it with these secrets, man? Why? Just like tell me. I hate it.
Not now, but later. I don't need anything just yet, but I might.
You're not like coming on to me or something, right? Because, last time you talked to me, you said some things and it made me feel a little weird. I'm just letting you know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Perhaps you have a vivid imagination.
Pretty sure that's not what happened.
I am pretty sure that you have a vivid imagination. Alberg.
You both stare at each other.
Stare off for a little bit. Alberg.
Ma'am?
You have a vivid imagination.
But you said...
No. You must have misunderstood me.
Right. Can we just call this the favor that I'll just forget that you said that? Oh, Irina's the worst. Sorry.
Yes. That's what we'll call the favor.
Perfect.
Let me get you this bottle of vodka. And she goes into her desk and she pulls out a very nice bottle of vodka. It's not very big, but it's very good quality. And she hands it to you, and she is looking you. She's assessing you.
I'm oblivious. I take the bottle and I'm kind of like looking at it and I'm like eyeing up the bottle to see how good it is. And she makes some like comments about it and is like tosses it up, catches it, kind of like puts it under her coat and is like, I think Anastasia's gonna have a good time. She probably needs it.
Yeah. All right, Comrade Alberg. Just take care of yourself.
Always. I mean, burn my hands, but that was because, I didn't think about it. But hey, I brought the plane back. She just opens the door and leaves.
And
With the bottle in
Svetlana
her coat.
walks you out and then goes into Olga Barsakova's office.
Oh boy.
And then it is nighttime and it is time for your night mission. You are all gathering together. And I think before you actually get to go into this moment, there are a couple of things. One, and I think this is where I want to leave it before we get to break. I think you had a drawing, Titania.
Ooh.
I did.
Because
I did.
people you often share this, it seems to me, before you actually get them all ready to go.
So what happened was after our last mission, there was a lot of excitement. Everyone, and especially with what happened with Anastasia and the plane and the flowers, it was a lot going on. And as I was lying down, just trying to get a little bit of, relax the body a little bit before.
And just for setting purposes, you're all in your tent. Like this is that moment, you're waking up. You've got a bit of time before the mission, but it's coming up.
I'm holding a bottle in front of Titania's head. Wakey, wakey.
Titania will grab it and look at it. Irina, this is really nice.
Yeah. I think that Shimano's foe might be mad at me. So
she just kind of like shoves it back at her. Just put it over there.
Okay.
Make sure nobody gets to it before then.
And Anastasia's like, what are you doing?
Nothing.
So Titania sits up and kind of is like, stretching out a little bit. Hey, I had a really weird dream last night.
Like weirder than your other dream?
Well, yeah. This one, I don't know. I saw there was a wolf that was carrying a dead goose in its mouth, and it just kept circling and circling.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't put it down, but it wouldn't leave, and it just wouldn't break eye contact, and it just kept circling. And I don't know. It made me feel very uncomfortable.
I nudge Anastasia, and I'm like, that sounds like Anastasia.
Wait. That's not about marriage, though.
No, it's about you being clingy. That's what I was trying to say.
Wait, you think I'm the wolf? Isn't Nick the wolf because her name means wolf?
Nick's name means wolf?
Well, not Nick. No, Volkova does.
Well, then who's the swan?
Oh, right.
Well, I'm the swan, clearly. I danced. I can dance. I'm very good at dancing.
I don't think that's what the dream is about at all.
It was a goose, and I don't know that anyone in particular was necessarily any of the. You know what? We need to go get ready for the. Titania suddenly becomes very uncomfortable. We need to go ahead and get ready for the mission. They're gonna want us up as soon as possible.
Do you think this is a bad sign?
I mean, if Wolf is carrying a dead goose and walking around in a circle, that doesn't sound like a good sign.
Wait, do you think?
Get some fresh air, and I think Lena heads out and heads to the church.
Yeah.
Look, last time you had one of these vision things, my hands got on fire. So how about no dead gooses?
Well, don't put your hands in fire next time, and maybe that won't happen.
Hey, if I didn't do that, we wouldn't have a plane.
It was a very brave thing you did.
I smile at you.
All right, let's get ready. We're going to go through the debriefing momentarily. Do everything you need to do, and then meet me by the planes.
And this is where we're going to take our break. Our airwomen are doing their last minute preps before they're going to get their briefing for the mission tonight. But one of the airwomen has stolen away to the church. And our section in general, they're going to go up to a mission. They have no mission pool, and all of them are pretty injured. So, let's see how that happens.
Everything's fine.
Everything is fine. I'm excited to see what kind of shenanigans will happen when they go into their meeting, into their night mission. So we have some donations, and I would like to read them out to thank all of you for being so kind. We have a donation from my buddy Paladin Hulk, who is, awesome, and he tipped $5.69 because he's a member of the 69 Club, which means he's one of the people who tips and likes to have the number end in 69. That is all that I'm saying. And
just good clarification.
For clarification.
Now, undig the hole that you just dug.
So this is his tip. I don't really need to give y'all any tips because you're doing a phenomenal job. Oh, well, thanks for the tip that's not a tip, PH. Ooh, hey, we have a $5 tip from Propaganda Bot, my favorite of all of the bots. Propaganda Bot says, "Comrades, honor and glory to Mother Russia and the Soviet state. Sergeant Irina Alberg and Lieutenant Tatania Petrova were awarded medals of combat merit because they are more badass than all of the men of the 218th combined. Thank you, 588th, best of all." Propaganda Bot.
That's right.
And our last donation, which just came in from Imp in My Head. Imp in My Head, I see you. This is a $50 donation from Imp in My Head, which is amazing. Thank you so much. And says, Imp in My Head, really? The dedication is, with Coca-Cola pills, one way or another, you're flying high. Oh,
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. No, that's good. What? Accurate. Oh my goodness. So, all of you're wonderful. This is what's going to happen. We're going to take a break for like about 10 minutes or so. You're going to drink some water, stretch your legs, hydrate. And when we come back, we've got the long-awaited scene between Mel and Lena in the church, and then their night mission. That's what we've got.
Getting popcorn.
I'm so sorry. I forgot. Get your popcorn. You've got 10 minutes. Make sure you have it.
Maybe a lot of tissues, handkerchiefs.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen either. Oh, my goodness. Whew. All right, everyone. We will see you in 10. Take care.
Wine.
Let's see. I
Wine.
think we should be up. Hello, everyone. I think that we are up. It doesn't. Hello, everyone.
Wine.
I have us as being up, but I'm not seeing it on stream.
Hang on.
Let me see. I think we're up. Hello, everyone. We are up.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Our break is done, and OBS crashed because sometimes OBS gets tired and it wants to take a nap. Welcome back, everyone.
Some Coca-Cola.
Give it some tablets.
Yeah, I think I need some Coca-Cola tablets. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble, episode 9. Welcome back, everyone. If you were hosting, if you would rehost, that would be wonderful. And everybody, welcome back from break. Refresh and hydrated. Let's do a quick round of having our cast introduce, give them their name and your character. If you please, let's start with, we're all good. Yes. Let's start with Mac.
Hey guys, I am Mac Beauvais. I was Mac Beauvais. I'm going to continue to be Mac Beauvais. And I am playing Nick Volkova. That's what I get for being a smartass. And Nick is kind of wiry and roguish looking, and she's got short auburn hair, face full of freckles, and olive eyes, and been having some very heavy conversations this episode.
Yeah. Ooh, a person who's not been having heavy conversations at all, Maggie.
Hey, someone's gonna not have the heavy conversations. All these wonderful ladies over here have got that covered. I am Margaret Crone. I was Margaret Crone, and I shall also continue to be Margaret Crone. And you can. I'm playing Irina Alberg, who is a loud, boisterous, very blunt character who has kind of like messy, stringy hair that's curly, and she's really unkempt and tomboyish. And people might actually mistake her for a man because she's kind of got that bulky, masculine body type.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Rockette?
Hey everyone, I am Rocket Box, and I am playing Titania Petrova. She is, very buttoned up, very crisp and sharp in appearance, short black bob. Yeah, didn't necessarily have too many hard conversations today yet, so that all seems fine.
You just had to get a cake making session.
I did. It turned out hideously.
I have a little drawing of it.
Oh.
It just says sad cake.
Oh, wait, hold it closer, for I cannot see.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if my arms are long enough.
I'm putting my face closer to the screen as if that's going to help us.
Me too.
I'll take a picture and send it to you in Discord.
Yay!
Yes, a little cake with a little sad.
Put it on Twitter so everyone can see the sad cake.
Oh, I don't know if everyone needs to see. I don't do wolves and geese.
Hey, this cake is supposed to be like, a minus 20. So.
And Shell Game, give us an introduction.
Hello, I'm Shell Game. You can find me mostly on Twitter, and I am playing Lena Poplova. Sorry, it's a new name.
It's a new name.
Getting used to it. Who has successfully repaired a little clipper, but it is not regulation, and it's connected with a couple of people this episode. Shell Game is trying to figure out if Lena believes what she heard the men saying about Alexei as truth.
People talk.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes they accidentally figure things out.
Mm-hmm. As we start with, we're very close to their night mission. We have women who are stressed and injured, and no mission pool. And Lena is sort of slipping out before we're really going to get into that mission, so that she can meet up with Mel, as she wrote in her note, at the old bombed out church right outside of base. So you are on your way to that church, but when you walk out and you start moving, you see someone who calls to you.
She turns to the person who's calling to her and is just like,
It's I have a Anna. Is Anna there?
yes.
Could you come here for a moment? Thank you. So the person who is there is this beautiful blonde woman with this scar on her face.
I'm not prepared for this.
I don't care. I just need you to give a letter. That's all I need you to do.
She would have had it delivered. Are you kidding me?
It's not going to be delivered. You would not deliver that because the politroids read everything.
It's not that bad. In fact, I deliberately wrote it so that knowing that the Polytruck might read it.
All right, then you don't have to be there. It's fine. If you don't want to give her... It's just that I have you right there in the studio. You can hand it off.
She's already had it.
Fine.
She's already read it.
No, but her character doesn't have it yet. She just arrived. It's fine. I'll have it delivered by someone else.
Because if she wanted to have the conversation in person, she'd have the conversation in person.
That's fair. So it's Svetlana Sheremetova and not the amazing Anna Geeks. It's fine. I don't get to take advantage.
Nice.
I know I tried.
Put me on the spot.
It is Svetlana Sheremetova who says, Dozmanova, sorry, Comrade Popova.
Yes.
And she's got like a stack of letters and all sort of folded in this sort of triangle way. She goes, I have a letter for you.
Oh, thanks.
And then she goes, and this one also is from your family.
Oh.
And this one is from your brother.
Oh. Thank you.
Carry on. And she's going on her rounds to deliver letters. And, she's off on her way to continue delivering letters because it was delivered through official means rather than in person. And there you are with 3 letters from home as you are about to sneak off.
I think that she knows that she doesn't have a whole lot of time.
And one is from somebody you don't know.
When the mission starts, huh?
One is from somebody you don't know.
I think that that's the one that she would read on the way to the church once she feels like she's away from prying eyes. Like she wouldn't, but the one for her family, she would wait until she has enough time to read it and reread it and reread it and reread it.
Mm-hmm. So you're walking towards this bombed out church. What does the letter say?
Dear Elena Popova, we've never met, but I know you through our shared sisters. For a time, I had the distinct honor to serve with the rest of your section. While I was there, I became familiar with your story. I hope this letter may be of some comfort to you, though I confess there may be some catharsis for myself involved as well. The war has seen fit to leave me with few people to write while in the hospital. Oh no. To the point of this letter, I've been where you are now. My husband was a kind man, well-connected, and a war hero. I should have been elated for such a match. My parents certainly were. If it were not for his kindness, I would not have had the opportunity to attend flight school, but in some ways that was the most cruel trick of fate, showing me freedom before locking me in a gilded cage. You may learn to love your new husband, and I truly hope you are able to, but you may not. If this war has taught me anything, it's that you should not waste a moment of your time in the air. If war is the cost, then we're all paying dearly for each moment we get. Do not assume you'll get more moments of that freedom when the war ends. But do not despair either. We seldom have any grasp of the twists of life and death have in store for us. Sincerely, Veronica Krudina. I think by the time Lena gets done reading it, She's at the church,
Mm-hmm.
but she takes a minute before she walks in to fold the letter back up really carefully and tuck it into her breast pocket. Because it's definitely going to go on the mission with her tonight.
And there's no door to this church. It's got 3 walls and it's sort of out of the way, so there's privacy in there, but it has no roof, right? Just the spire. And holes, shells. You can see the toll that war has taken on this once sort of beautiful, large building. It's not like a huge church because it's a small, you're in the kind of a small town, so it's like a beautiful church from a small space that is now broken and shattered. And when you step in, they're sitting on one of these, a pew that has been turned over and is half broken, is Mel.
Oh, you did find it. And Lena's going to like run across the church to give her a hug.
And Mel like hesitates for a moment, but then just gives you this big, strong hug and like pulls you out and like sits you down and says, okay.
I've missed you so much. I thought about you every day, every single day. You know, sometimes when it was really bad and they would use the electricity, then I would just remember that, you know, at least you weren't going through it a second time. So I'm just, you're alive and you're safe and you're fine and you're beautiful.
I was really worried about you. Are
I'm
you
okay.
You're not okay. But you'll be okay.
Are you okay?
Sort of. I'm glad you're back. And I've been worried about you. All this time, I wished I could have written you, but I couldn't.
No, I'm glad that you didn't.
I wouldn't. But I wanted to.
Thanks. I wanted to write you too. Sometimes I would write letters in my head, you know, just lying there late at night. I would think about exactly what I would say. You know how many times I thought about that orange? Just peeling it, I can still remember the smell. Orange is the best smell, don't you think? It sort of lingers on your fingertips when you're not thinking about it. Are you okay? Lena's gonna like scooch closer and try and like take Mel's hand.
And she lets you, but there's clearly something on her mind. I don't know how to say this. I don't... So you're married?
Yeah. It was either that or a lobotomy, so...
Yeah. I need to tell you something, and I don't...
Look, I hope that you don't. I mean, if you do, I understand, but like, you absolutely, if me being married isn't good for you, I understand, and you can just you can do what you need to. I understand. It's okay.
Lena, it would be easier if I could tell you that you being married broke my heart and
I didn't mean to.
No, listen, it would be easier if I could tell you that if I could tell you that I found out you were married and that was it, and but the truth is you didn't do anything wrong at all. You only, well, I mean, you did do something wrong, and that is you stepped forward when you shouldn't have. You should have let me do that.
No, you can't go again. Especially knowing what happens there. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
That was... It should have... You know what? That's not the conversation that I'm avoiding. So, look, it would have been easier if that's the truth, but that's not the truth. I mean, was I surprised? Yes. But I know the marriage doesn't mean anything. I know that. I mean, I think I know that. I imagine that. But the truth of the matter is that I waited a long time for you. I waited for you to come back, and I thought about you, and I cried, and I was afraid, and I wished that it were me, and I kept imagining you in there, and I imagined how brave you were, and you became almost superhuman in my mind. And what happened between us became something more real than real, and I didn't realize that over this year,
You can tell me, it's okay.
I fell in love with someone else, and I didn't even know it for the longest time, because I had you so strongly in my heart that I didn't know that slowly, step by step and day by day, I was falling in love with someone else, and then I did, and I feel like the worst person in the world. I didn't mean to, and it wasn't because you got married. I'm so sorry. I know you can never forgive me, and after everything you've been through, I know you hate me, and I know that you'll never forgive me, and I don't...
Just stop. Lena's gonna stand up like really slowly, and she's gonna leave the church.
Mel doesn't follow you.
I think Lena just like walks down the hill, and when she gets out of sight of the church, but before she gets back into sight of any of the anybody else, she just cries for a little while, and then she just scrubs off her eyes and heads back toward the barracks. And when she like gets back in, I think she looks in kind of rough shape. But she's not really talking.
So you're getting ready, section, for your briefing before the night mission. And Lena wasn't there. Ivanova wasn't there. Ivanova comes in. She was clearly sort of like doing something. And right before you're about ready to do this moment, Lena comes in and she looks rough.
Lena, are you
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I
about as fine as. Well, let's not talk about that. What's up? What's up? Clearly something happened.
I just got a letter. It's fine. I just got a letter that
Bad
was
news.
just yeah. So it's fine.
Are you okay to fly tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, I can fly. Yeah, I can fly.
Okay.
Nick gives Lena sort of a long look that's sort of like a nod, sort of trying to convey, remember earlier that she's there.
Irina will put her like arm around Lena and is just kind of like a little flighting clipper will change that frown upside down.
Yeah, it'd be good to get in the air. So who are we fighting?
Well, if everyone's ready, we are going to go straight into the briefing for tonight. So tonight we are going to, and then for you, Trooper, we're going to be doing D.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to be, I'm not even going to try and pronounce these locations. We are going to be bombing a fuel dump and rail yard near the Black Sea. And I've gotten the information that a low altitude attack is going to essentially be suicide. So we are going to have a lot of precision in this. But also we need to be aware that the burning fuel will illuminate us when we leave. So there is going to be a high chance that we are going to experience some fire. So that being said, my screen is gone. It's gone. I see nothing. There it is. These are difficult times.
We're having like all kinds of problems with the internet today.
I still have these boxes of die rollers up that I just cannot. I can't get rid of them.
We're in Saturn return, clearly.
This is my life now. Just die boxes everywhere.
Mercury in retrograde.
Well, you're figuring that out. Can I take a reach out for telling Mel all of those things?
Yes,
that Lena did?
That is like a 100% a reach out, like without even a doubt. And you get the +1 regard because you love Mel with all of your heart.
Yay.
Also, I could not take you down there. Like
I'm just like,
I'm laughing at what's going on. I'm like, no, it's very sad. I'm very sad by this.
I gotta keep myself entertained, otherwise I'm gonna cry.
Give me your roll.
That's 2d6, right?
At 2d6, yeah. And then you get the +1.
All right.
Hey!
It is a
partial success with a 7.
Would you like to remove 1 harm from you and your friend? Change the target and or tone of your currently filled regard slot. For example, perhaps the one for Mel, I don't know. Or add 1 to the mission pool.
I really want to heal harm.
I know.
But I do feel like my regard slot needs to change.
Yeah. Would you like to change the target or the tone or both?
Target. And can I decide who the target is after this? You know what? Actually, I want it to be appreciation for Alexi.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yep.
He's a good boy.
Just so you all know, audience, she did have the regard slot Love Mel. She's erasing that regard slot and replacing it with appreciation for Alexi.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping my 2 harm. Yeah.
Keeping the 2 harm.
Not a bad idea.
This can only end well. This can only end well.
Yes.
True.
All
we
right.
also during break talked about one more. Can we do that one
Yes,
too?
there was.
I really don't want to take Lena into this with 2 harm.
It was the Nick. Yeah. It was the Nick and Lena conversation is also a reach out.
Yes.
Do it.
Do it.
Wait. And since it was in Little Clipper, yep. I can take the yes.
Hey.
Oh, hey, 13.
The dice know the truth, that was a very successful reach out. Like, clearly you all had this really important bonding moment that I'm sure will
Let's
not...
not talk about the dice.
that was a complete success.
It's good that they can bond before everything else.
Before other information comes out.
Good for them to be bonded.
Yeah. You can choose 2. Remove a harm from you and your friend, change the target tone of regard slot, add 1 to the mission pool.
I'm going to add a mission pool
and
take a harm.
Slide off a harm. Okay.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Are you ready, section leader?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right, so ladies, and actually I'm, for the most part, going to leave this as it was before. I like the setup. So Irina, you are going to be flying into the 42, and Lena is going to be your navigator. I am going to be flying in the 13 with Anastasia as my navigator, and Ivanova is going to be flying in the 84, and Nick, you will be her navigator.
Joy.
So,
And Ivanova's like, don't worry, Volkova. I'm the best pilot in this section. You'll be fine.
You know how many people have told me they're the best pilot in this section?
Yeah, but with me, it's true.
Yeah, but Irina is really good.
So, our lead navigator, Lena, do you think you're up to this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you sure? She's looking in the eye. Okay.
Lena's like always gonna say yes when it comes to flying and
Can I eyeball
she
her?
does look like
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I'm eyeballing you. I'm looking at you.
Roll that eyeball. Roll it.
Which one's
Skill.
eyeball again?
And you get any bonuses if you have regard for her, which I don't think you do currently.
I don't. Sorry. No, it's me. It's not you.
Okay.
I have a success.
That is a
Nice,
full
11.
success, an 11. You may ask any 2 questions you want about Lena, either now or later.
One I will ask now.
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem like she would be able to, like, I know that Fox knows that she loves flying and goes into a different headspace.
Yeah.
Titania has noticed this, but is curious whether or not, like, flying puts her in a good enough space to where she will be separated from whatever tragedy is befalling her right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's probably like okay, so Shell Game is like, well, it depends on what the dice do.
I know. That's the same thing that but
I think like for what you can tell so far is that Lena seems like she's in a bad headspace, but anytime she like seems to focus in and sharpen up when we start talking about the mission. And as soon as you were like, hey, do you want to be navigator? She like tightened it even more and was like, and it's clear that she's intent on not only flying this mission well, but proving that she is able to fly it well at this point.
All right. In that case, you will be the lead navigator and I will be the lead pilot.
Oh.
We lost our camera for the Geek Space.
Sorry.
Which,
Our goal was
Perfect.
to lose every camera possible today.
Whoa, none of that during the mission now.
no, which then leaves Irina and also Nick as wing women to step in to save people if necessary. So, the night falls, and you head out to your planes. And there, you see all the mechanic armorers. You don't see Mel. And all 3 planes are wheeled out, and the mechanic armorers are moving these heavy bombs and attaching them to the planes. And Mel's not there. And you see the little clipper freshly lacquered and
I pat
repaired.
the plane and I'm like, looks good, Lena.
Thanks. I worked on it really hard. And you know. Oh, I should tell you, I realigned the way that the flaps work. So when you're pressing down on the pedal, you just need to know you need to press a little bit harder than you think you need to. Well, probably as hard as you've been pressing. I noticed that you have.
I got this. I got it.
Okay. Well, I just wanted
Don't
you to
worry.
know because I changed it a little bit, and it's important for you to recognize they have that. It's Lena pats the little clipper. It's
I put my hand on her shoulder and I'm like, I like look at her and I'm like, look, we're going to be okay. And you got this.
Thanks.
Nick's gonna look kind of confused before she gets in her plane.
And I know sometimes I can be a little weird, but if you need someone to talk to, maybe not in front of everybody, but we're all here for you and I'm around.
No, I'm okay. It's fine. I'm okay. It's totally fine. I'm okay.
Lena, I've flown with you enough. You're not fine. But you know what? We're going to be fine on this mission, so I kind of offer my hand to help you up.
Lena will take it and like get to the back and like just focus on just getting everything on and getting it all connected and getting her little rubber tube.
Aw.
No.
And it hurts a little bit to help her up because your hands still hurt.
Oh,
Just like suck it up. It's fine.
This is good. This is fine.
And Titania and Anastasia, you get into Lucky 13, which have these beautiful hearts and flowers now on the tail. And
Nice
Nick,
of this.
yeah, and Nick and Ivanova, you get into Death's Kiss, and you're all set up in these 3 planes, and the mechanic armorers are doing their work. And there's there's one that Nick, you know this one particular one. She's sort of like she's like all the rest of them are privates, but she's maybe sort of like Mel's right hand man, and you can see, sure, she's Mel's wing woman, as it were, and you can see that she's sort of taken charge in this moment and making sure everything is all set up, and then, with one fewer person on the ground crew, it is time for you to take off.
All right.
And you start heading towards the Krymskia fuel dump in the and rail yard near the city of Novorossiysk on the Black Sea. And it's a fairly long flight to get there, and you have to fly really high in the air, and you have to drop the bombs just perfectly or else you'll miss. So, our lead navigator, will you give us a wayfinding roll, which is skill?
yes. With my little one for my little clipper.
Yep.
Swap over. Partial success.
Hey.
That's a 9. Would you like to take the mission pool to make it a full success?
Oh, we have mission pool?
You have 1.
You only have one.
No, I don't want to. No, we need to save that for a full failure where we don't die. That's what we need to have that one for.
So, choose one consequence.
Uh-oh.
Your plane suffers a minor mechanical failure. It is damaged. The enemy is waiting for you, and we all get enemy fire. Or you're stressed and banged around, and you split 2 harm, however you like.
How much harm do you have right now, Arena?
1.
1. So we both have 1. That would take us to 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think the repair job that Lena did, she was having, halfway through there was an intense conversation, and then she got drunk.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best of repair jobs.
Yeah.
And one of the rudder,
Mhm.
the rudder connector pedals to the flaps, like
Mhm.
it's a little janky and it kind of like snaps away.
Yeah.
Not entirely, but it's going to require some finesse to be able to get the rudder to, or I keep saying rudder and I mean the flaps,
Yep.
for the flaps to like go up and down.
Mm-hmm. So you fly them out towards this rail yard and fuel dump, and you're able to do it. But your unorthodox way of repairing was perhaps not the best way of doing it, and you can feel that problem with the flap, and this will be a bit of a And Irena, you can feel it. Something's wrong with the plane. You know Little Clipper. She's a sassy little plane. And there's something wrong with it, and you think it might be a little bit tricky to land because something is off. Like you have to overcorrect quite a lot, and it's going to be a little bit tricky for you to do so. But you are all brought to your target, and I need our attack roll from our lead pilot.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm.
I get 1 for 13.
You do? And it is guts.
Oh no.
Eee.
Would 6 still be a full fail?
It would be. Yes, it would.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh. So,
Ooh.
my friend, please note we have two people on Wing Women. 2 Wing Women. This is a complete failure.
I see that.
You have a choice. You may abort the attack completely, turn around and leave, which, will interest Olga Barsukova why you chose to abandon your mission.
Everything interests Olga Barsukova.
Or you can tempt fate and press on desperately and do this attack alone without any support from the rest of your section.
Yeah, let's do it.
Really? All right.
Let's see what happens.
So, so you
I don't like the sound of that.
So, Lena, you are leading the section, bringing them towards where the target is, and you end up having a bit of a problem with your plane.
Are you sure whatever you did to this is right? Something's not. I don't think they're working the right way.
No, I think something's wrong. I'm sorry. I had some vodka with Nick. It was really good. It was really, really good vodka. And remember last time I had
just
really, really
focus.
good vodka?
Focus, Popova. What the heck?
I'm sorry. Maybe just try hitting it on the corner of the pedal instead of full on. I think that you'll hit the wire a little better. And I promise I'll fix it as soon as we get back.
I do as she says. I trust her.
And as you're doing that, you look up, and you and also Nick, you see that Lucky 13 is nowhere near you. Lucky 13 is out there.
Where's Lucky 13?
Is right over the target and not where you are. You cannot get close enough to do anything to help 13 in this moment. 13 is completely isolated and exposed and just hundreds of meters away from you. I need that tempt fate roll. And you tempt fate on a guts.
Do I still get 1?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm in my favorite plane.
Because you're in your favorite plane.
Oh no.
7? 7 partial
you can
success.
use our wish and pool.
Oh yes, you can make that a partial success rather than a fail if you want to.
I will take a partial success. I am more than happy with that.
Fine. I mean, if you want that fail.
No. It's
what?
Tempting, but I'm trying to cut back.
That is fine. You are in the plane with Anastasia, yes?
Yes.
What would you like? You have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can completely fail in a way that is embarrassing and terrible and will get you in trouble.
Okay.
Or
it sounds so tempting.
Yeah. And it'll be really bad. Like, this will be like a complete shame on you. It'll be terrible. Or
I see you really want me to do that one.
or you can successfully bomb the target and make it out. But as we know, that fire is going to come up. That big fireball is going to illuminate you. And your choices fail completely in ways that will be terrible, or succeed, but in the process, Anastasia gets injured in her face.
Oh shit. Oh god. Ooh. This is for Mother Russia, so we are going to injure her pretty face.
Right before her name's day.
Yeah. Now, if this were not a tempt fate, other people might have been able to help, but they can't. Because you are...
I know. This is my own responsibility.
Yes, it is. So...
Sorry, Anastasia.
You know, if she gets a scar on the other side of her face, and she could mimic Veronica, like mirror image.
She will become Veronica's actually her back in time.
Oh,
This
time
all
travel.
happened. Yeah, no, this
Got a Doctor Who thing going on.
And I'm going to ask. Just I want to know. Does anybody else also want to do an attack run? I mean, you can.
Who wants to jump in there?
I mean,
I think we should. If 13's gone off course and everything, we still need to complete the mission.
it will be completed, but you don't know, right? Because she's
Yeah.
I think that Lena would encourage Irina to go on the attack run. Because,
Oh yeah, I'm. You think you're gonna stop me from? Yeah, no.
I think
Irina's
Lena is
completing
like
the
on a
mission.
death mission right now.
Yeah.
Like very much like, no, we need to go bomb these Nazis. Like,
Yeah.
we need to get over there. We need to drop the bombs, and then if we had extra bombs, we need to drop those.
And Irina's reckless. She's going for it. I mean, I have 3 guts. What do you like?
Yeah, roll the attack run, my friend. Roll
Yeah.
it.
Ooh, and then I also have Lena
That's right. That's a +1.
or Titania, either way, because
Yeah.
she's missing. So I think either one of those. But I can only get one, so it doesn't matter. Here we go. Did it roll?
Why not?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Didn't roll.
Yay!
Yes.
We're going to talk about how this goes, but give me one negative consequence. Would you like the damage is insignificant and it's your fault? Enemy fire. A plane in your section is damaged. I get to pick, or you and your fellow airwomen are marked.
Ooh, do you want to get marked?
Yeah, let's get marked.
All right, let's do it. It's been a while since I got marked.
This is great. I love marks. They're my favorite.
All the
So
way up to death.
here we have Lucky 13 separated and isolated, and in the process, right? It sort of was terrible, and you come in to attack, and the bombs drop. It's high precision, and immediately you hit. Fuel dump goes up, but not the railroad completely, so it's only partially done, and all of a sudden, anti-aircraft fire everywhere. The guns are going, the searchlights are searching for you all, and as the searchlights are searching for you, Irina's plane, Lil Clipper, just using the sort of the guidance of Lena, just slip in between all of those searchlights, and Irina drops these bombs and devastates the entire place. She hits some of the searchlights. I mean, she's able to sort of, I mean, it's perfect. It's wonderful. Except that it's a little bit too late to stop some of that fire hitting Lucky 13. And
I imagine Lena and Irina are just like laughing and just having like a good old time.
Yeah, I think Lena's like, yeah, take that. She's just like chattering back and forth with Irina about like what a great move that was, and oh, did you see that? Like, whoa, you avoided that. Like, she's super happy.
And
Yeah, like Lena's just taking her direction and going for it and being like, nice.
And what nobody in Little Clipper or in Death's Kiss can hear because you're too far away is the screaming. But you can hear it, Titania. You hear Anastasia screaming. And you can't, she's saying something, but you can't make it out. And you hear her then after some screams just go into small whimpers and then go quiet. As you make your way back to the auxiliary airfield, back to your airfield.
Yeah.
And I need Irina to make a skill roll to land Little Clipper, which is damaged.
Okay. This is a skill roll now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All right.
You get the +1.
+1, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how that goes. 13.
Yeah,
Bless
it's because it's Little Clipper.
Yeah, it's Little Clipper. It's Irina and I, or Lena and I, and Irina back in the same plane again, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to get I actually should have listened to her when she was explaining it before we went into the thing. I was like, I got this.
So most pilots probably could not land a little clipper, or if perhaps it were a different plane, it maybe wouldn't be able to be landed. But you do. You land it perfectly. And when you land, the mechanic armorers are there, and you land first, right? Because you're our lead navigator. And then in comes Death's Kiss, right? And everybody's getting out. And you notice on the flight line, there are people with this super sad cake and vodka. And they're waiting for you all to arrive for this name day celebration.
Where's Lucky 13?
I don't know. Why do they have cake?
Oh no.
It's Anastasia's namesake day or something like that. So they're throwing a party. I promise I didn't completely spoil it for her.
Oh.
Wait, no one told you? Oh, might have been when you were out.
Maybe I should not go.
Titania, roll skill.
Why?
You get your +1 though.
Oh, good. Well, success.
Woo!
Am I not totally responsible for her losing her face?
Oh no, you totally are. But but you are able
chose
to.
this fate.
You did, but you were able to land the plane with an injured navigator. So you land it.
So as soon as I land it, like it's almost still in motion, and I like jump back. I throw hands off, and I jump back there to see what's going on with her.
And she's curled up in. And by the way, at this point in time, people are singing sort of like a celebratory song for Anastasia because it's her name day, and the sad cake is there, and Boris Smirnov is there, and Sergeant Yu is there, and there's like a bunch of people who've all sort of gathered to sort of welcome you, all of you off. And I imagine the members of Little Clipper and also Death's Kiss have already sort of, because you landed first, have already been sort of taken out of your planes, and people are cheering and they're happy, and it's this wonderful party. And when you land, just a few minutes later, you look back there, and she's curled up in this little ball in a bit of a fetal position, and she's whimpering just very softly, and her face is covered in blood. And
I'm going to yell for a medic, like kind of over the singing, kind of like, stop, somebody get a medic over here. And I'm gonna like start like kind of like take my sleeve and start like cleaning the blood off her face to see if I can see from whence it is coming.
When you're trying to clear off, so you're hearing Titania yell for a medic as people are still sort of singing, and she's trying to clear the blood off the face, and there is this jagged, ugly, harsh piece of metal just sticking into the side of her face.
Lena will, as soon as she heard medic, she will have like run to get
I'm
help.
going to yell at them to bring me some of the vodka. Some of the really bad vodka.
I feel like Irina probably has some in her hand already. And when I see Lena run, because we were just having a conversation, I was trying to get Lena to stay. I follow her, and I hand it to you.
All right, so I take it. I'm like pouring some of it on the metal wound. How I don't know if this is an eyeball or not. Can you just tell me like how deep does it look?
It looks bad. It looks really bad.
Like into her skull deep, or like?
No, it's not. It's not this part. It's all this part. So it doesn't look like it's gonna kill her, but it looks really bad.
It's got the cheek meat. All right.
Into the jaw.
Into the jaw. Yeah. Well, is there any way to know how soon a medical? I mean, I don't.
Well, you remember from the last time that the medical tent is closer to the boys rather than to y'all, so it'll take a little bit of time. But a medic will come.
I mean, I think it would be worse for me to do something about it than to wait for the professionals. Like if it's not a life-threatening situation, it'll probably be less bad if a trained professional takes it out of her face than me. But I'm going to say nice things to her. She's whimpering. I'm, just going to be like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Medics are coming. You're going to be fine. This is going to be fine.
And Anastasia it comes to her a little bit that they were singing. And she says, "Thank you for the name day party." And that's where we will close this duty station. So,
oh man.
Yeah.
That's another.
So, that is the end of Pashkovskaya. When we return next week, we will start a year and a half later in Poland, in Zambrów, in 1944, as the war is pushing forward. We will find out what has happened to our crew.
Time skip of a year.
And it's going to be a year's worth of fighting and bombing. But because it's a new duty station, everybody arrives healed up, and all of your planes are repaired.
Yay.
And
broken parts healed a little, perhaps?
We'll find out.
Do we level up a smidgen?
And now there's some level ups. So not everybody levels up, though. No, Nick has not gotten in trouble for bucking against the patriarchy, so she does not get her end of duty station level up. But Titania does get her level up for being a dreamer, for having a premonition that has come true.
Yeah.
Actually, all three, because that wolf just crunching in on Anastasia's.
She went from being a swan to being a goose.
Yeah, here. There you go. Also, Elena has protected someone, saved someone's life. And also, we have our dear Irina walking away from a wreck. So you three get one more advance. Nick, I tried to get you some patriarchy to buck against.
Oh yeah, well I would have if there had been a better opportunity, and doing the banner would have been okay, but that was the week I was out.
I know.
Oh, the banner would have been so good.
I know.
That would have been the thing.
Oh man.
So everyone, here's what's up. Next week we are going to have next week Mac will not be here. She will not start us off in Poland. Instead, we will have Pumpkinberry will be coming back in as Anasova Andreeva, and so we'll have her back. So that'll be exciting, and we'll find out what happens in the next year. We'll find out where our airwomen are. But we do have, as it turns out, some donations that I would like to read out before we close.
Hey.
Willen TW donated $10 and said, "Wow. This was awesome too. That scene with Nick and Lena," and that is true. That scene between Nick and Lena was just like, mwah. Brilliant. Dunya Rostova has donated $5 and has given us a poem by another one of our amazing Russian female poets. This was from Zinaida Gippius, and the poem is "So It Is," and this is the poem. If light is felled, if light is felled, I am able to see nothing. If man is a beast, I hate him in scorn. If he's worse than beasts, I kill him laughing. If my Russia is over, I die and I mourn. From Dunya Rostova. And we have one last donation from the Vera Pavlova fan, who donated $5 and gives us our poem. Says, "Bonds of sisterhood forged in the fires of war, passions inflamed as the ruins of the enemy. A tempered soul shatters. Shrapnel slices, impales, destroys. A love is ended, a heart in ruins. The night sky weeps icy tears. Go, fly, bomb Nazis.
This is too close, man. Too soon.
Oh,
I have
Ooh.
lots of feels to process.
all of the feels. We're probably going to go process, audience. Y'all can process as well. I would like to remind everyone to come back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time for Worlds Beyond. Because that is amazing and we're all heading off that direction. And I would love for our cast to introduce themselves for their sign-offs. And I would introduce Anastasia, but she's unavailable right now. So we will start with...
Whoa. Ow.
Yeah. Let's start with Anastasia's best friend, Rockette.
Hey everyone, I am Rocket Fox. You can find me anywhere Rocket Foxes are found, mostly on Instagram. I haven't quite mastered Twitter just yet, but we're working our way. I am an illustrator, gamer, cosplayer, performer, storyteller, and also the president of the board for Super Heroines, etc. And we are a nonprofit that is having a mission to empower women and those who identify as women to embrace their inner nerd. So you can check us out at superheroinesetc.org, or you can find me at Rocket Fox everywhere.
And let's go to one of Anastasia's other very, very good friends, and sort of a big sister type, Irina, Maggie Crone.
Hey everyone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all the places. I will be returning to my stream channel over there if you want to check out some more content. And of course, I do a ton of other tabletop RPG stuff, so you'll have to come check that out if you're interested. I always let people know whenever we go live. So thanks.
And let's go next to another one of Anastasia's very, very best friends, Shell Game.
I was expecting it to be Nick.
Oh.
I'm Shell Game. You can find me on mostly Twitter. If you're in the Seattle area, you can also check me out live, usually at unexpectedproductions.com on Thursdays. Not .com, .org. Unexpectedproductions.org. I do the Thursday show over in Pike Place Market, and then typically some Friday and Saturday shows. You can also catch me on Worlds Beyond, where we'll figure out what sort of fallout happens between Inan Nisi and Pine, because that discussion didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was really hopeful for that discussion, and it just did not. Nope.
Well, which one was the worst discussion that you had so far?
So far?
Yeah.
Combining both Night Witches and Worlds Beyond?
Yeah.
Probably the Mel discussion.
Yeah.
Probably the Mel discussion, because it was the most personal.
Oh. Ooh. Let's by the way, while we do this our next outro, I do want our two, Irina and Lena, to think about what marks you're going to take, because I think we should announce to the audience what marks you'll be taking.
Oh, I know.
I know too.
Oh, I'm so excited. So Nick, the one person who actually doesn't like Anastasia at all, why don't you
wait, Nick? Don't you have a thing specifically for her?
Yes.
It was discussed.
Yeah.
But she thinks that you're her best friend, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Mac Beauvais. You can find me wherever great social media is sold as at Strange Like That. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram, but Twitter's a good place to keep up with all the tabletop that I do. And I'm kind of a jack of all trades, do a little bit of everything. So come follow my scattered social medias.
Before I introduce myself, I want to know what marks you're taking. This is where my excitement goes. Tell me, what marks are you taking?
You go for it.
Okay, sweet. I think that it's advance and grow because a lot has happened to Lena lately, and she's learning a lot about how to deal with people. And I don't know that necessarily all of her learnings are healthy, but I think that she's because of everything that's happened to her, it's she's got some more guts, essentially. Like, I think she's got a little bit more like, I can take care of things, or I'm going to take care of things.
That's wonderful. Aww. What about Irina? What mark is she taking?
Irina is taking make a friend or take a lover.
Ooh. Future or present?
Sure.
Yes. What would you like?
Well, please, we can think about it.
All right. We will. That is that make a friend or take a lover is on the table for the future. And I am Trooper SJP, your game moderator and only deliverer of flowers and hearts and sunshine. And you can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch, where I stream video games that are sort of story heavy and then also die on Horizon Zero Dawn, but mostly by just walking off cliffs when I probably shouldn't. And you can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter. So thank you, everyone. I want all of you in the audience to take care of yourself. I recommend maybe listening to some music or having some lovely chai tea, if that would make you feel
Get a massage.
little massage to make you feel better. Thank you so much for being here, for being part of the Geek Space. And I appreciate so very much your presence as an audience, and I appreciate you being here to support us as we perform for you and play this game with each other. So thank you so much, and I say to you all, please go and fly right, and take care of each other. Bye, everyone.